Shout out to Hispanics causing panics.
Shout out to Hispanics causing panics.
Hispanics causing panic. I'm glad to be here.
Hispanics are causing panic, baby. Let's do it.
Let me speak on this. ¡Órale! ¡Arriba la raza!
Órale! What's going on, guys? gfunkyboxing back for another episode of Hispanics Causing Panic Uncensored. Hashtag HCP. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Again, I'm your host, G-Funky, here with my co-host, as always, D-Style Boxing. What's going on, bro?
Doing good, bro. Looks like you're open to that jab right now. Pop, pop. You know what I mean? Oh, I don't have a chin like David Haney. I'm hurt, but shout out to everybody out there, though. Shout out. Hey,
that's right.
It's been too long, man. 2 weeks for no uncensored, bro. So it's been too long.
Yeah, man. I want to apologize to all you guys out there for not having a show. Dealing with a personal matter that I'm trying to get under control right now. And, just work with me. I'm working on it, man, and we're going to get better, all right? I want to say what's up to the familia that showed up. Wheelchair Man John is here. My boy Black and Brown from Sakra. That's right, man. What's up, bro?
He has the same issue you have, G-Funky. You know what I mean? Like, I was about to do uncensored, but then I got high. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Oh, man. Maybe about 20 years ago. A-Rod 83 Boxeo says, Saludos, raza. Andres Rodriguez is here. He says, G-Funky, the funkiest G in the boxing scene. I appreciate that, man. What's going on, man? I appreciate you being here. Darkness has fallen. Tony is here. What's up, Tony? Big supporter of HCP. We appreciate you here, man, as always. And anybody else that's here, I know I see quite a few people here. What's going on, man? Thanks for being here. We're going to cook tonight, man. We got some interesting stuff going on in the sport of boxing today. As you guys can see, the title, the Devin Haney fans are forced to change their narrative after the latest fight, Devin Haney versus Jorge Linares. Deontay Wilder doubles down on the Glovegate talk, man. I can't believe this guy. This is just really getting out of hand. And Oscar de la Hoya and Canelo Alvarez are now making their beef public, man, going on Instagram, going on Twitter, going back and forth. So we're going to talk about all this good stuff. Nando is here as well. What's going on, man? Appreciate you guys being here. So we're going to burn real quick, man. This is not going to be like smoked barbecue, all right? This is not low and slow, all right? This is going to be a hot and fast episode of HCP. So we're going to get right into it. First things first, Devin Haney fans. This is what we're going to have to say to you guys, man. Okay, now look, if you're a fan of Devin Haney, look, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Okay, my problem is you guys just are not being honest about what you saw on Saturday. You guys are now forced, and I'm telling you, forced to change your narrative to what HCP has been saying about boxing all along. Yeah, that's right. Write it down in the column as a W for HCP because we're teaching out here. All right. We're teaching you guys that, you know what? It's okay to get hit in boxing because you know what? That's what this game's all about. That's what boxing is all about. You got a guy in front of you that's looking to hit you with punches. That's what this sport is all about, man. So that's what's going to happen. You guys are running around for the last 25 fights for Devin Haney, acting like this guy doesn't get touched. Acting like no one puts a glove on this guy. Now, when you see him get touched up by Jorge Linares, and then you see him get rocked by Jorge Linares, and he's forced to survive the fight. Now, all of a sudden, it's a good thing to get hit. Now, all of a sudden, it's no big deal. You know? But we're the ones that have been telling you that. We've been telling you, take it away, D-Style. Take it away, bro.
I mean, look. How many more people need to come out and cry and be emotional about a fighter and talk about how, it's because, you see, they're not giving no credit. They're just hating on Haney. They hate him because they hate him. You know, like, it's just, Maybe it's not hate. Maybe saying Haney was hurt at the end of the 10th and survived the rest of the fight is just, get this, the truth.
Right.
Okay? Maybe Ryan Garcia getting chin checked because he doesn't tuck in his chin, okay, and knocked down, but then fighting back, recovering, and knocking out his opponent with a body shot. Maybe that doesn't mean we're playing double standards. Maybe it just means that we're telling the truth, because that's literally what happened. Like, I'm not going to say something different. I'm not. Like, that's what happened. Maybe the ones that need to reassess what they're thinking, maybe the ones that need to do that are the ones that were saying things like, Loma hasn't fought anybody. Linares? Who's Linares? Everybody knocks out Linares. He knocked out Linares. Everybody does that. That's what a lot of you guys out there were saying about, Linares when Lomachenko beat him. When Lomachenko got knocked down, and by the way, got back up, and I think proved his punch resistance was just fine because he recovered right away and then ended up beating the shit out of Linares for the rest of the fight and stopping him, okay? He wasn't holding on for dear life. Again, not a double standard. We're just calling it like it is. That's what calling like it is means. Maybe if that narrative wasn't out there about, Loma, just because you don't like Lomachenko, you have to downgrade Linares as a fighter. Now, doesn't everything just come full circle? Now you are over here, and now you need to answer as to why Linares hurt Haney. Now we're talking about a veteran. I mean, that's. There's a YouTube channel on here. I'm not going to mention his name, but we used to do collabs with him. That literally said one thing about Lomachenko. Lomachenko's too small. He doesn't belong at lightweight. And I'm still picking him to beat Teofimo because Teofimo's not proven as a fighter to me. And I feel like even though he's undersized and old and washed up, and I thought he was overrated the whole time, and all he did was knock out a guy everybody knocks out in Linares. That's how I talked about him. But then when it came to Gamboa, Gamboa's a grizzly veteran. I mean, he's got experience.
He's a gold medalist.
Yeah, all of a sudden being a gold medalist is like an accolade we really need to point out. You know what I mean? Even though Gamboa was older, smaller, not as accomplished, even as a gold medalist in an amateur or even as a pro like Lomachenko, and was slowed down immensely. And Loma never been knocked out before, right? So the problem here is this, okay? It's not about Devin Haney getting tested, okay, and surviving the fight to win. That's not what it's about, because that's the truth and that's what happened. Okay, it's about people playing damage control and acting like the whole thing didn't happen. Saying like, no. I approve 100% of what Haney did. I mean, that's smart. He held. Okay, I'm not disputing the fact that holding was probably the smart thing to do if the alternative is getting knocked the fuck out. But he did survive the fight. That's what happened.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, he was forced to survive. Yeah.
And I've said this all week, so I'll say it one more time, and I'll say it as slow as I can, okay, but as fast as I can at the same time. Linares is known to cut easy. Okay, he's known to get knocked down. He's known to get knocked out. He's been beat by first-round knockouts. He's been beat late in the fight because he ran out of gas. He's been beat multiple ways by stoppage. Does that mean Haney has to knock him out? Well, no. But it's not like Haney put on a clinic and didn't get touched the whole fight, and that's just the way he did it, guys. No. He was getting hit. He was getting countered at times, and you just have to admit it's the opposite of what Coach Green said, okay? The opposite, okay? He's not who you thought he was.
At least not now.
And Linares let him off the
hook. Nice Denny Green quote right there. Let's read this comment here. Haney showed no punching power, and he got rocked and was very lucky the bell rung. and there was a minute left in the round, he would have been in some serious trouble. It's not hate or racism. It's not. But that's what these guys want to turn it into because they're fucking pussy and sensitive. That's the problem. You're too emotional, all right?
So what was it when those same guys crying racism were saying that about Lomachenko when he stopped Linares? Then what was it?
Yeah.
What was it then?
Right.
Because if that's racism, then what was it when you were doing it?
Exactly. Chicano Prophet says, never seen Linares get so much respect either, ever. Two-time world champion, skilled veteran. Yeah, they'll say whatever it is that they got to say, man. Haney fanboys make it seem like he's Mayweather 2.0. That's not realistic. They love boxing first. If they love boxing first, they wouldn't have a problem. Lopez knocks out Haney right now. It's these guys, man. It's really weak, in my opinion, to use these kind of arguments to try to do damage control. You know how
weak it is?
Oh, you're just booing because you hate black people. Like, that's what I've heard.
That's how weak it is.
Me? Are you fucking kidding me? You know?
Hold my highlighter, bro. It's just hold it, bro.
It's weak. It is some weak shit, man. Just call it for what it is, man. Like I said, this is boxing. They call it the Hurt Business for a reason. Okay, this is not fucking patty cake, guys. Okay, go ahead.
I was going to add this. Because it is uncensored. You know what I mean? But I was going to add this. For everybody out there, you do know that being on code is literally no longer code if you tell everyone what the code is and what you're doing to be on code. All right?
Yeah.
Like saying, no, we need to back up Haney no matter what, because all the Mexicans back up the Mexicans no matter what, and white people back up the whites no matter what, and they do it, so we're going to do it while you're admitting, even though, like, are there groups of people in every race, ethnicity that back up the dudes no matter what? Of course there is. But when you use that as an excuse to be, then you're literally telling people the joke. You're literally telling people what you're doing, that you're going to back up Haney no matter what, and whoever doesn't go along with it can go to hell, and you don't want them in your channels, and you don't want to associate with them. You don't want to talk with them. Like, so you're telling me right now, you're telling me you're going to back up Haney no matter what, okay, and that's it. We don't need to tell the truth. We need to stay on code. You're telling me that that's your message? I
guess so. Weak as fuck, bro, in my opinion. You can't just be honest about shit.
You want to hold this highlighter? Fuck, here you go.
Like, look, when Ramirez lost 2 weeks ago, man, that did hurt me because, like I said, I had a connection to it. But did I make excuses for the guy? No. Did I make excuses when people were saying that the referee might have played a role in that second knockdown and that, maybe he should have took a point from Taylor? Look, I said this. I said, look, he's gotta be able to fight him off. If someone's gonna hold him, he's gonna be able to fight him off, not allow him to clinch. These guys will make every excuse in the fucking book, just like they're doing right now. Some of them don't want to admit that this guy was getting counter punched, like you said. They don't want to admit that he was getting hit with clean combinations, left hooks all night, and that he got rocked badly at the end of that 10th round and had to survive. And look, that's all good with us. It's not a problem with us. The problem is you guys. The problem is you guys don't want to admit that. That's the real problem here. And now you have to admit it. Now you have to admit it's not a big deal to get hit. And guess who's been saying that again? Hispanics causing panic have been saying that. Go ahead, bro.
That's right. We've been saying that. You know what I mean? Like we've been telling people that, right? And by the way, here it's not about code, energy. It's just about being consistent and telling the truth. That's it. Even if it's an inconvenient truth, okay? Mm-hmm. You just tell it, just like that. It's not that hard. Like, is it that hard? Like, oh no, it's because I don't like that guy, and he was supposed to look better, so I could come on my video and be like, look, Haney did easy work, and Linares never got hit, and Loma did, but then he got hit and he ruined everything. But you're gonna see on code. and we're gonna say that because the Mexicans do it too. Like shut up and grow up. Shut up and grow up. Ain't nobody talk like that outside of the internet, dude. Ain't nobody talk like that. You don't go to a bar and talk sports or boxing, especially, and like and stay on code. Like people are gonna look at you like you're stupid. Okay.
Exactly. It's weak as fuck, man. Tony Boswell says body language says it all, and you could damn sure read Haney's. Yeah, he was hurt, and for him, like, I feel like a lot of these fighters really should just stay off of social media, is what I think. I feel like he's really trying to make it. He's doing damage control himself by saying things like, I didn't think Leonardo hit that hard. I was never hurt. Like, dude, we see your face swelled up. We seen you rock back to your corner, and we
side of his face was red, brother. Yeah, and
we seen you go full MMA those last 2 rounds to survive the fight. You were hurt and you didn't recover, man. But that's a part of the sport, man. That's cool. You got to learn from it. Okay.
Hey, bro, it's Andre the Giant did those bear hugs. Well, why can't Haney do those bear hugs? What are you trying to say, G Funky? Well, why is it okay for Andre to do it, but not Haney?
Yeah, must be something behind that. You know what I'm saying? Bruce Goes is here. What's up, man? Bruce Goes again, another longtime supporter of HCP. We appreciate you being here, man. Let's see here. Another comment I wanted to read. Haney, so no punchy power got rocked by a guy that isn't an exceptional fighter, and his fans are trying to cover it up, but it won't work. He's going to carry these questions into the next bout. Absolutely. We have to. We can't ignore this, man. This is not fucking Men in Black where they're just going to flash that little thing in front of our faces and we're just going to forget everything we just saw. Like, that's not going to happen here, okay? That's not going to happen. And guess what? When he goes into his next fight, whoever it is that he fights, that's going to be brought up in my prediction. And it should be brought up in everybody else's prediction breakdown that this guy, we have to question his chin. We have to question his recovery. Mr. Sinister, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. Another thing that these guys...
Where isn't the word question? Like, man, I don't know about his recovery time. We're just asking the question, guys, because that's what we saw. Well, we're not going to ignore it. Like, no, I told you he'll be fine. It was, it's not going to happen ever again. Ever.
And we agreed that the kid's fast. We agreed that the kid can box. We agree that his defense is good. It's not as cracked up as you guys made it seem, but he's got good defense, good reflexes, got good legs, But again, we cannot ignore what we saw at the end of that fight. We just can't. And you guys shouldn't either. And you guys are doing a disservice to the kid, but you got to stay on code. I get it. All right. Here's another thing that's changed all of a sudden overnight. As far as these guys and this whole, Haney's he's the real WBC champ, the real WBC champion, right? Okay. If he's a champion, like the champion, he shouldn't be facing guys like this. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Diesel, but has this guy fought a mandatory yet, like a champion does? I don't think so.
No, plus you guys got to stop saying things like, he's only 22.
Yeah, he's only 22. No, he's a champion is what he is. That's what he is. And over here
it's
in
not
HCP,
my fault, there's a belt.
Yeah. And over here on HCP, you know what we say? When you become a champion, training wheels come off. That's it. That shit is off now. He's a champion, okay? We can't make these excuses anymore. Can he improve? Yes. Is he 22? Yes. But that shouldn't matter at this point. He's a world champion, like you guys have been saying. This is really embarrassing, guys.
So which one is it? Did he dominate, or is he only? Come on, guys, he's only 22. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? Shouldn't you be saying this? Like, man, he's only 22. Look how amazing he looks. Well, that's not what you guys are saying. You guys are saying he's only 22. Give us some time to improve, right? Which I agree with, by the way. But then stop giving me this nonsense that the guy's like the shit or something. Like, because right now I don't think he's ready for Teofimo. So if you don't think he's ready for Teofimo, then continue saying he's only 22. Then I guess. Right. I mean, Teo's only 23, right? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I mean, how often are you going to be using that line?
Yeah,
is he ready for Teo now or what?
I mean, they said for I don't know how long that he's been ducking. These guys don't even know what a real duck is. Get the fuck out of here with this bullshit, okay? There was never an offer sent. There was never no contract signed. None of that happened, okay? You guys are just going off bullshit, things that you see on the internet. None of that shit is true, and it doesn't equal a duck. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. Andres says a real champion earns the marbles in the ring, not by fucking email. A champ with Gamboa and Linares as a main and toughest opponents faced is lame. In 1 year, probably different. Yeah, I mean, at this point, we got to step it up at this point, you know? And if they make that Lopez fight next, it is what it is. Make it next. You know, like, again, over here in HCP, we don't put up roadblocks, man. We just don't. And if they make the fight next, they make it next. You know, I'm sorry, man, but that's just the way it is. You know, Fight Doctor's here, and again, he's being the contrarian. We're not making any sense. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. If you want to come on, we'll give you 5 minutes to come on and talk to us, and you can tell us.
I don't know what we're not making sense about. Keep in mind that I don't know when you came in or what time you came in, but we are talking about narratives and responding to them. Right.
Right.
So not everything coming out of our mouth is what we believe. It's what we're referencing, what we hear. So it's need to be a little more, I guess, clear. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We're not the ones that were running around saying that fighters get hit too much. That's not good.
And not just that, bro. People are like, my God, the damage control. Like they're pulling out the footage when Mosley rocked Mayweather. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, look, people acting like this doesn't happen. Like, well, not here. Well, we know that shit can happen here. Here we know. But, like, that's a horrible example because Mayweather went on to dominate that fight the rest of that round after he got hurt. It's not the best example, bro.
It's not.
Oh, but Loma got dropped and he got up and he kept going.
Even trying to use Ryan Garcia being dropped by Luke Campbell is not a good example because, look, he stopped him 3 rounds later. Haney literally had to survive that fight. I mean, we're not saying he lost the fight by no means at all. Clearly won the fight. But guess what? He had to survive it at the end. He was that hurt and he never recovered from the punch. I'm sorry, he just didn't. You know?
Let's be honest, they thought they were going to stop him.
Yeah. That's
and
another
they found
narrative.
out it was a lot harder. It's like they found out, you know what? It's a lot harder than I thought.
That's another narrative that's been going around. Oh, Haney stood there to entertain the fans. That's why that happened. No, he stood in front of Linares because they knew, just like we knew, Linares got a weak chin. Guy's been knocked out 5 times. He was knocked out in the first round by Cano, Pablo Cesar Cano, 2 fights ago in the first round.
It was. And you know, the interesting thing here is, and again, it's one of those, like, we know those things happen. Like you know what I mean? But this whole thing's crazy, man. Like, I don't even know, like, what to say to some of these people, like, these fans are saying. Like,
it's ridiculous.
Like, okay, like, Mayweather was rocked against Mosley. Okay, like, and then he recovered. Like, we know guys get rocked and hurt. It's boxing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not even the question. That's not even what we're referencing and like, or anything. It's that we're pointing out the fact that he was hurt and that he survived the rest of the fight, was holding like crazy. And then there's some Haney fans that look at us like we're doing something crazy by just pointing that out. You know, when that's what happened. Okay? Like, that's the way it is. And if you want to play a code game, and guys, this isn't Nintendo 64 or PlayStation where you could put in a code and skip a level. Like you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't work in boxing.
Exactly.
In boxing, the truth will find you in the fucking ring. Okay? Like, it doesn't matter what codes you play and what code you put in, and none of that shit matters. None of it. All right?
Yeah. Look, if you guys were just honest about the shit, you know, we wouldn't have to come at you with this type of stuff that we've been telling you, you know? If you came on and said, you know what? Haney won the fight. He looked good early on. He got clipped, had to survive, did what he had to do to get the win. You wouldn't hear a fucking peep out of me, but that's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing domination. I'm hearing he was never getting touched and all this other shit. Like, no, we seen you get wobbled. We were hearing, he wasn't hurt. Haney himself, I was never hurt. Like, come on, man, stop it. Just be honest, man.
And by the way, Fight Doctor, we're not even like, you're having a debate with yourself, brother. Like, you're debating with yourself. Like, when they would come on here and say, "Oh, there's no skill in doing that," blah 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 blah. Like, I'm not saying that at all, but I know hugging the way he was doing it is an infraction, and I would, in my opinion, the rest should have told him something. But that's not here nor there. But he survived the end of the fight. If you want to say he was skilled for doing it, whatever it is, that's what he did. And that's all we're doing. We're just saying that.
Yep.
That's all we're doing.
You guys just gonna have to eat it, man. At this point, you can't. There's no damage control in the world you can do to make us all erase what happened, what we seen happen in that ring that night. You just can't do it, man.
Oh,
and look,
you don't understand. I mean, Haney, like, stop.
I mean, was it skillful when you guys claimed that Gamboa was holding all night on damage control against Haney in the last fight? No, you guys bitched and moaned about that. But it's all good here. Like, you see the narratives have flip-flopped completely, man. You know?
Yeah,
Sad.
plus I heard a lot of holdings illegal, when it came to Tyson Fury.
Oh yeah. So speaking of Tyson Fury, he's got his next fight with Deontay Wilder coming up sometime in the summer. So Wilder again, now he's starting to talk again to the public. He's disappeared for a while, and now he's starting to come out and
July. I mean, July. It's in July.
Okay, yeah. So here's what he had to say. I seen this today on Twitter, and of course I had to take it from there, and then let's just listen to what Wilder has to say here, man. Let's just listen.
Many people, especially in boxing, they did this, Ray. They did that, Ray.
Yeah.
Allowed them to do this. They saw no evil. They heard it, so they didn't speak. And then when you ask about the gloves, well, you can't not see that gloves do not bend. Your wrist can't bend unless you double joint it or something. How the hell it bends 90-degree angle? It don't keep a fold in. It don't keep a fold in space, nor does it have loose space in it. It's impossible. And the way the world and a lot of people in boxing did this right here, I'm doing like that to everybody. Look, they couldn't even knock me out even under that juju. I was under some juice. They couldn't even knock me out. They couldn't even keep me down. Like I said, it took a disloyal trainer to throw the towel in. We know he don't have no power. We know he can't. He gave me the best of him in that ring, and I took it all. I knew what was going on with my body. I felt it when the mask came off. I knew something was wrong with me. I knew I was not right. He got a rap sheet of cheating. He got a rap sheet of abusing drugs. But you talk about a guy like me that ain't got no rap sheet or nothing, just pure power, pure work ethic, but I'm lying? And you got a guy that's known for cheating? And he's telling the truth? I know what I could do. You know what I'm saying? They knew it too, so they had to have something to slow me down. They had to find something that would slow me down. See, they thought they was going to take me out in the second and third round. But that voodoo judo, that gypsy gumbo soup didn't work. So they had to use my trainers. Man, let me stop, bro. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop.
Please.
Oh man, this is bad.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem. In the words of H Money, he has a rap sheet. Yet before your first fight, you were calling him your brother, and you kissed him in the cheek and everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I mean, all this stuff was well known.
My Fury. Oh, you're my brother. You're my brother. Like my brother. Like I'm here to help you, my brother. Like that's all I heard all the time. All this love they had for one another and the respect they have for one another. And you know what I mean? Like, what happened to all that? The rap sheet existed then. Right. Oh, the rap sheet only matters once he beats your ass? That's when it matters? Oh, okay. I got it.
So, Fight Doctor, this is what you've got from that? This is the only thing you wanted to make a comment on out of that whole thing?
Okay, so does being a cokehead, well, let me put it this way, right? No one's going to excuse the fact that he got caught juicing. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. He got caught. Okay?
Yeah.
No one's going to excuse the fact that he was a cokehead. Okay? Now, we knew all this before the first fight. All of this was common knowledge before. It's not like, guys, it's not like they fought, Wilder lost, and then we found all this out. Like, hey, I don't know if you guys know this, but Fury, like, he tested positive. Like, what? No. Like we already knew all this. Just like the glove selection meetings, right? Like, you know what we got to do? Hey, man, for these fights, they got to put these gloves down, okay? And then they got to be able to put them on, check them with inspectors and everything. I think that's what they got to start doing. You know what I mean? Oh, they already do that. Well, what do you mean they already do that? Yeah, they already do that, bro. Well, in that case, you know what? Then what you got to do, you got to be able to check those gloves. Okay, JD should have been in there when the glove got put on so he could inspect it. Oh, he wasn't there. Well, we got to talk to JD then, right? Yeah. Go talk to JD, brother. Right? What's an actual line that happened? All right, that's all I'm saying.
Credibility. Okay, well, let's question Deontay Wilder's credibility. The man said he was going to bring out proof. I haven't seen nothing. All he's doing is just talking at this point, just like the rest of these guys who are doing damage control for him. So why don't we do this? We had Ernie Gavion, glove expert from Everlast, on. The guy was actually at the glove selection meeting for Fury Wilder 1, the first fight, where he's talking about, you can't bend the wrist, although you see my wrist bending right now. That way. Okay, let's just stop that madness. But let's listen to what Ernie had to say, who was there at the glove selection meeting and after the fight. Here we go.
Regarding the first fight, if that's his question, I have something for him. Tyson Fury that night had 6 pairs of MX gloves to choose from. He had black and he had green. So he went through the whole gamut, tried them all on. So any issues with the gloves, we had 6 pairs to go through. So he can throw that one out the window.
Were you at the glove selection meeting for those fights or no?
Yes, I was at the glove selection for Fury, but not at the second fight because he used Pappen for that one.
Okay. Yeah. That first fight, did the Wilder team have any objections at all about Fury's gloves? And did they get to look at them?
No, he's an Everlast fighter. So he had the option. I think he was going to go with the MX, but he ended up wearing the Paralock instead. Whereas Tyson decided to wear the.
Boom! The truth hits you in the face like a bulldozer right now.
Pa! You know what I mean? You know, man. Rose Louise. So, by the way, I know the other glove expert. We talk here and there with Russ Amner, by the way, who some dudes with the agendas use them as some type of Russ Amner confirms Glovegate. No, he didn't. Do you want me to bring him on one of these days just so he can say that he didn't or what? Stop saying stupid shit out here, guys. You gotta really stop saying stupid shit. And stop claiming guys said this and that when they didn't and all this other shit, okay? Sure, the Lupe Pintor, type of dudes might excuse it, but not here, okay? I'm just saying.
Oh, man, it's funny. And, I mean, what can you say to that? He's making claims about the first fight, him having his wrist bent, and that's impossible to do. Yet, again, there was nothing wrong with those gloves. We talked to the guy who was there, who gave Fury the gloves. Not only that, when D-Style asked him the follow-up question about did they have any kind of complaints after the fight? None. Zero problems with the gloves.
Zero complaints. Everything was fine. But once he got his ass whooped, sore losers couldn't fucking take it. Okay? Yep. Let me tell you guys something, right? Because I see White Doctor keep saying, oh, no, it's all legitimate. It's all true that Fury did all these things, so his credibility is into question. Okay, you know what? Fuck Fury's credibility. This is Fury's credibility. Let's put it over here, okay? Give me proof, okay?
Yeah. Where's the proof?
You can't go to court and say, and they ask you for proof, and then say, yeah, but you know what he's done before? This dude didn't pay his rent sometimes. He stole from the landlord one time. I mean, this guy, you know how many speeding tickets he's got? Okay? I'm just saying his credibility ain't that good. My rap sheet's clean. No tickets, nothing. Yeah, that's nice, but can you prove to me that he killed your dog? Haven't I explained to you what type of dude he is? He's a terrible person. He cheated on his wife, okay? He stole a 7-Eleven one time, got arrested for it. He ain't a good person. You know what I mean? But and then they go to him and be like, yeah, I didn't kill his dog. You're going to believe him over me? I got a clean rap sheet. Look at everything he's done. He's a bad person. Okay, being a bad person or whatever you want to say it is not proof. Give me proof that he did it. That's
There you
it. It's as
go.
simple as that. If that was the case, every piece of shit on this planet could be accused of a crime and be found guilty. Come
Every
on.
time. The burden of proof is not on Tyson Fury. I love hearing this, or even the fans, right? When the fans go back and forth about this, show me proof that Fury cheated. Well, you show me proof that he did it. Like, that's not how it works. Here's how it works. When you accuse somebody of doing something, in this case, cheating, right? It's not up to the guy who you're accusing to prove that he didn't cheat. It's up to you. You got to bring that proof, man. And you guys have failed to do it. Wilder himself has failed to do it. He's been saying he's going to bring the proof out. Guess what? The fight is signed. They're getting ready to fight in July, and he has brought nothing. All he's done is run his mouth with stupid accusations. Okay? That's it. Anybody wants to email me right now, I'll give you a link. You can come on and talk with us about this. I seen Fight Doctor here. It's not up for debate. Fury's a cheater. That's fine if you want to talk about his using of PEDs in the past and all that other shit. We're talking about this fight right here. Where's the proof when it comes to this fight? That's what I want to see. And if you got proof, Fight Doctor, bring it.
Imagine like if in Dallas, Texas, someone gets hit by a car. Okay? The person's dead. And then I just come out here and say, oh, it was Errol Spence. Like, what? Do you have any proof of that? Well, no, but Errol Spence is known for drinking and driving. You know what I mean? Was he not arrested for drinking and driving? Yes, right. He could have killed somebody. He got lucky he didn't kill himself and somebody else. So I think Errol Spence is the prime suspect for sure. Plus, I don't know. Do you know where Errol Spence was? Like, we actually don't know where he was. Well, I guess it was him. Errol Spence killed a girl. He was drinking and driving. He's guilty for life. For the rest of his life, he's going to be known as a drunk guy. And when somebody gets hit in the road and killed, it was him. No, we can't do that. Like, he made a mistake. Okay, he paid his dues, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like we can't blame him whenever something like that happens. Okay, we can't blame did Lamont Peterson cheat on all his fights because he got caught with PEDs? Well, did Berto cheat against Ortiz in a rematch? Berto got caught. You know what I mean? Did he cheat? Is he a cheater for life? Like, anyone who gets caught with PEDs, you could just make up accusations, and we gotta totally buy it because the guy's been caught before. Come on. And
you're wrong again here, Fight Doctor. We said you're right here where you said there's no empirical proof that Fury cheated in the rematch. There's no empirical proof he cheated in both fights. None.
Well, at least he's conceding that can't prove Fury cheated.
Yeah. But you got to say both. Can't just say the rematch because Wilder's accusing him of cheating in both. Remember,
if I go to jail, if me and LT get an argument at the bar and I beat him up so bad I kill him, you know what I mean? Let's just say hypothetically, and we all know that's what would happen. You know what I mean? And I go to jail, and then they find somebody all beat up in the jail cell. Like, really? Are they going to be like, oh, that guy? Like, he's a known dude for fighting and beating dudes up, so he's guilty. At 5 more years to his jail sentence. You have any proof? No, but it's totally him. I mean, that's what he's known for. Come on now. You know what I mean? Shout out to LT, though.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. And again, here's the thing, man. With all these guys that have been bitching and moaning, have acted like little emotional pussies for over a year now, how come they haven't brought an expert on like we have to talk about the gloves? That's what you do when situations like this come up. You talk to experts. You don't just make shit up.
Yeah, and you don't listen to pseudo experts either, okay? Like, oh, I worked in corners before at some point in my life, and I saw this one time, this one guy didn't pay attention when hands were getting wrapped. It's not like expert testimony. I'm sorry. It's not. It's anecdotal, and it could totally be true, but it doesn't tell the full story about everything, okay?
That's true. That's very true. That's so funny to hear that. Well, one time back in like 1994 or whatever, I was in the back and the glove expert or the glove inspector looked away and so that means they don't look at nothing. They don't catch nobody cheating and bullshit. Fuck out of here, all right? The bottom line is this. You guys got nothing. We spoke to the experts. You guys haven't. And we know why you haven't, because you don't want to hear the truth. You don't want to hear it, man. That's really what it is.
And let me just say this. This is just my opinion, and I know I have a disagreement with you, Funky, about this, but nonetheless, which is cool. You see that we could disagree. We're not telling each other to stay on code and all that dumb shit, right? Look, listen to me. Wilder could win this fight, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear that or just disagree with that, which is fine. But man, I'm telling you right now, you never count a puncher out. Ever. And Wilder is a devastating puncher. I do believe that. I have seen Fury flat on his back, okay, when fighting Wilder, okay? Now, he got up and everything, but if you have to ask yourself, if that punch was just a little sweeter, could he have knocked him out? Like, it's possible. You know what I mean? So that's all I want to tell people, okay? But it's important to know this. If Fury wins, in the words of Antonio Tarver, you got any more excuses? Is there anything else? like what are we gonna do? Do we need to take Fury's gloves off, or so the Wilder team could look at it right in the middle of the ring after the fight? What do you guys want? Because we just don't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah,
we just don't want to hear it anymore. I'm sorry, bro. We just don't. I don't want to hear about his history, his past. I want to hear about that night and what you did, because everything you guys are asking for is already done. They already inspect the gloves. They already do all that. You know what I mean? And then people talking about, oh, he has a history of doing it or whatever, right? Look, man, Brilliant has no history of drugging guys and all that. So yeah. Where do you guys get justifying what he said about Breland? It's one thing to say it about your foe. It's another thing to say it about your own corner, man. Like, I know you're hurt, brother, man. Maybe you did want to go out of your shield. Okay, cool. To a certain degree, I admire that. I really do. I'm not even bullshitting right now. All right? I admire that. Like, if you wanted to go out on your shield, but like I'm sorry. Like, it was pointless at that point. There was really no reason for the fight to continue other than if someone had a sick, fetish for watching Wilder get beat up. Other than that, I don't know why anybody would want to continue. Plus, all the channels that are saying it was stopped early and all this shit, all of you came out and you said that the fight was stopped. Some of you even said it took too long for him to stop the fight. All right?
Yeah.
Come on.
By the way, guys, I got 35 in the house, 22 likes, man. Let's get them likes up for me, man. That's the best way to support HCP. All right, it's just by hitting the like button. That's all it is, you know. And if you come across as you're new, subscribe.
Or if you're lurking in the shadows, you know what I mean? You can let us know you're there with a thumbs down too. You know?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Because we know you're there. All right. And you're too pussy to come on when I got my email rolling at the bottom. That's your
just
problem.
Tell us what you think. There's no need to screen share and send it to so-and-so so they could share with each other. And, oh, look at what he said. And, bro, we're saying it on the internet, brother. Like, we're saying it out loud or live on the video. Right? Just tell me what you think. How about that? All right?
Yep.
So stop being little rats, okay? Just stop running around like, oh, did you believe what he said?
But it's pretty common and it's expected from guys like this who are just emotional. You know what I'm saying? They're very emotional about things. And I just got to be flat out honest with you. That's not the way men work. All right? We're not supposed to be that emotional about shit. Okay? Going on crying and shit like that for months and months. All right. I was raised by men. That's not how we work. All right. That's how women are the emotional ones, not men. Okay. Now, I'm not saying there's not a time and a place to be emotional, but right here in boxing, D-Style says it a lot. HCP is going to continue to say there is no fucking crying in boxing. All right. None.
Well, what are you saying about Wilder? Like, I'm not even talking. Y'all need to start defending the honor of your family, your kids, like your wife. Like, stop defending the honor of like Wilder, bro. Like, what the fuck, dude?
It's weird,
right? Just stop, bro. Just a little bit ago, someone posted like when he was doubling down on Twitter, and I put, "Yeah, sounds like a sore loser to me." That's my opinion, okay? And then the art man guy responds like, "Oh, your mom should have swallowed." Like really, bro? They got to bring up my mom and all that. Well, why? Because I said because I think Wilder's being a sore loser. I'm not even talking about you, bro. I'm not even talking about you. Plus, I know why you mumble when you talk. I like, dude, stick to Twitter, okay? Don't go on videos and talk, dude, because Wilder's cock's in your mouth. I can barely understand what you're saying when you talk, right? So shut the fuck up, all right?
Yeah.
How about that? Being
It's
disrespectful for no reason.
it's like borderline obsession the way that these guys act when it comes to certain fighters, you know? It's just weird, man. Like, stop it. You look like a fucking weirdo.
Talking about Wilder. Wilder, take the fucking cock out of your mouth. We don't know what you're saying. Or stick to Twitter.
You know what? You know what, D Hodges? That's very unfortunate, man. And I have to say this, man. I felt like it was going to happen a lot.
Some weak sauce shit, and those people are weak as fuck.
Weak
okay, you know what
fuck,
it is?
bro.
They don't want people to listen to other arguments. They don't. Okay, which is bullshit. That is bullshit 101. All right, and I want them to know that it's bullshit. Like that's what that is.
HLD, that's one of my funniest moments in boxing history with Oliver McCall.
Well, that would have been Haney. They didn't let him keep holding, bro. You know what I mean? They actually warned him for holding. You know, like maybe.
Oh, that's good
Look,
stuff.
cry when you win the world championship. You know what I mean? Like cry then. Like please, like stop crying. Like, look, there is. It's these guys are attached, bro. Like there's actually like a syndrome for this. Like they have this like there's people that get attached to celebrities. You know, like I never thought like this would happen with fight fans and fighters. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I never thought I'd see the day, but I started seeing a little bit in the Pacquiao Mayweather era, you know, a little bit, but it wasn't this bad, bro. Like it's getting worse, dude.
It's really bad, man. Really bad. And now look what they did to poor D Hodges, man. And oh, that's terrible, man. But you know what?
No. This whole like, only stay here and go nowhere else because you're only going to hear what we got to say. That's it. You're a grown man, but you're going to stay here and we go somewhere else. Oh, you're a traitor. Like, get the fuck out of here. We're talking boxing.
Right.
That's all we're doing.
Something wrong with listening to a different opinion or a different perspective on things. And that's exactly why we have this show here. This is exactly why we have. This is why D-Style and I created HCP Uncensored. All right. Because we go on and we talk on the podcast Tuesday nights, and then we come here Wednesday. So you guys can come and talk with us. You guys can come on. I'll give you a link if you ask for it.
Now, I don't know if
Doctor asked for one, and you can come on whenever you're ready, bro. We're here.
LDBC rep. I don't know if he's actually LDBC rep, but the rep of them. But I mean, you know, it's hard to tell sometimes, like what he says. But I mean, he's allowed to be here. You know, it's all good.
Yeah, you see, we don't kick people out like that just because they have a difference of opinion. Matter of fact, we ask people to come on. Speaking of that, the man himself is here on Rick James status, I hope. What's going on, Fight Doctor?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Not much, man. We're just kicking back, talking some boxing, man. What's on your mind?
So here's just what I just want to say one thing. Now, I don't buy into all the excuses that Deontay Wilder made after the loss to Fury. And the excuses, the list was long. The Breland excuse and the excuse about his costume. And I think there was another excuse. Now, having said that, Tyson Fury is a known cheat. Now, this is just something that we know. This is a fact, okay? He's a known cheat. He's a known cokehead. He's known to keep company with some nefarious characters, right? Now, we have no empirical proof that he cheated in the rematch. Now, say what you will about the glove situation. I'm on the fence about the glove situation, especially that left glove. I have no proof that there was something from the rematch. Now, I have no proof.
Left glove was the first.
No, it was no. I'm speaking of the rematch, the left glove in the rematch, the way it was flopping.
The one that's like this on the photo, that's the right glove. But is that the one you're talking about?
It was I saw the left glove flopping about.
That's from the first fight.
But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It could have been the first fight. Could have been a rematch. I have to go back and watch the tapes. However, what I do know is that there was, from my viewing of what I saw, there was an issue with one of the gloves. Now, do I have proof that there was something wrong with the glove? No. Did it look suspicious? Yes. Am I saying that Fury cheated in either fight? No. But what I am saying is that he is a known cheat. He is a known drug abuser, and that he keeps company with some nefarious characters. These are all facts. Okay, and I think at the end of the day,
can I ask you a question? Is it a relevant fact?
Yes, it's relevant.
So like if they went to court, like you think that would win the case?
What I'm saying is that there's when in the court of law, you have what's called a character witness, and this person speaks to your character. All right. Now, when you are in court and you have a character witness, you would want someone who's going to give you a glowing representation.
Examination.
Now, Tyson Fury, again, if we are going to look at his character, we're going to examine his character. Well, one of the ways that we could do that is looking at his history and some of the things that he's done.
I got a character witness for Deontay Wilder. His name's Mark Breland. What kind of testimony would he give Wilder fight, doctor?
Depends on the line of questioning. From what I understand,
would he give? What kind of character witness would Mark Breland be?
So it depends on the line of questioning. So if we're going to talk about his dedication to the sport of boxing or his willingness to be coached, then he would not get a glowing representation from Mark Breland.
Or his willingness to throw a fellow black man, a leader in the boxing community, an Olympic gold medalist, under the bus and blame him for his loss. He's still saying that man poisoned his water. You don't have a problem with that?
I do, very much so.
Okay.
But we're not talking about Deontay Wilder's character here. We're talking about the character of Tyson Fury, and we're also talking about is Tyson Fury capable of cheating? And we know that he is because he's done that before.
Right.
Now we can talk about what Deontay Wilder did with his coach. We can talk about what other things Deontay Wilder's done outside the ring. But the fact of the matter is Deontay Wilder's never been caught cheating in a fight, whereas Tyson Fury has.
Check this. The first thing I'm asking Deontay, if I put him on the stand, is what Mark Breland did in his fight. And as soon as he answers that question, he's lost all credibility. Don't forget, it's Deontay that's throwing out the allegations. It's his people. What credibility do they have? That's not correct.
No, that was not Deontay. It was not Deontay Wilder who found Tyson Fury guilty of having used the PED. That wasn't Deontay Wilder.
I'm saying the allegation, fight doctors, you're mixing apples and oranges right now.
No, I'm not mixing apples and oranges. I'm examining the facts. Now, if we're going to deal with the facts, then we're not mixing apples and oranges.
Yo, check this out, though. What you're doing is you're bringing up the fact that he tested positive for a PED years ago and mixing that up with the allegation that Wilder and his teams are alleging from the last fight. That's apples and oranges, bro.
No, sir. I'm not mixing up anything.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is stating the facts.
You keep bringing up that he was a cheat, which was
is that another fact?
Right. Okay, so let's examine the facts. Costume. He said it was the costume. Let's examine that fact. Right? He's saying the water was poison. What about that fact? What about that?
Those are not facts. We don't know that the costume affected his performance. We don't know that the water was poison. Those are not facts. Those are excuses.
You set this up.
Wait, hold on. We have to listen. We have to differentiate.
If I doctor.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Did Resto have any history prior to the Collins fight?
Any
history at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
So
But
do
I
you need a
but-
history to cheat? I think it's an irrelevant point, to be honest with you, because they all go through the same protocol. They all go through the same glove inspections and all that. They all like the process was done, and there was no rejection from the Wilder side about the gloves. His corner was there when he got wrapped. All those things happen.
Here's the fact, Eastal. Here's the fact.
Yeah.
The only thing that's been proven, and even that was denied, but let's go with this. The only thing that's been proven is he used performance-enhancing drugs years ago. None of the allegations from the last fight have been proven at all. Not the costume, not the gloves, not the spiking of the water. None of it. I mean, now they're saying that the guy had COVID.
Is that a good one for me?
Over a year later, now they're saying that he had COVID. And the thing is, he failed a test, and he's going into the new test, blaming everyone but himself, and has not learned the material. He's going to get slept. I'm telling you right now.
I want to say something to the fight, doctor, real quick. Now, look, we're not sitting here saying that none of that is true, that he doesn't have a history. That's well known, and Wilder and his team knew that before going into the first fight. We're simply asking is, where's the proof of all the accusations that Wilder has made? That's what we're really interested in at this point. Do you have any?
There is none that I've seen. There is none that I've seen. I've seen no proof.
Thank you. That's really all I'm interested in. I mean, we know he's done things in the past, and you know what? He's been suspended for that. He served his time for that. So I mean, what else can we do at this point with him?
I gotta ask the panel, and I gotta ask the chat. What kind of a man is a fan of this dude at this point? How could you possibly be a fan of this guy?
I couldn't. I mean,
look.
Have you ever seen a fighter make this amount of excuses for losing one fight?
No, but
I've never seen anything like it ever.
Well, I'll say this. I'll say that I'm a fan of Wilder as the fighter that he is. I'm not talking about him, what he's saying, the interviews, all that. I like punchers. I like guys. You know what I mean? So I still want to watch him fight. You know what I mean? But I get your point though. Like I'm not like buying his T-shirts or merchandise.
It's hard at this point. And I'm gonna say this real quick because I relate to Deontay Wilder in this. He has a special needs daughter. He took up the sport of boxing to make money to support her, to get her through what she's dealing with. You know, I'm in the same boat. I have a special needs daughter as well. So yeah, I relate to Wilder. But the thing is this: I don't like the fact that this guy has made up so many excuses for taking a loss. Like that just, I mean, I'm sorry, man. I'm not with that. And until he brings out some proof or until he just admits, hey, look, I'm just saying this to hype up this third fight or whatever, then fine, it is what it is. But this guy is doubling down on these things. It's not a good look, Fight Doctor. It's just not.
He also said
listen, I agree wholeheartedly. The excuses were not a good look. However, at the same time, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, right? Now, again, let's look at the facts. Now, let's not pretend.
It doesn't have to be though. Like absence of evidence could just stand on its own. Like it could just be absent. Go ahead, man.
10 years ago, I was living in a small town, and a guy accused me of sleeping with his wife. Spread all kind of rumors about me. There's no evidence.
Damn, milk car.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But like absence of evidence is, yeah, there's an absence of evidence. You make an allegation, you should be able to prove that allegation. No?
What I'm saying is that absence of evidence does not mean that a crime did not take place. That's what I'm saying. All right. Now let's not pretend as if boxing is not a dirty sport. Boxing is a dirty sport. Always has been.
We agree 100%. We agree 100%.
Right?
But you know how we know that?
Let's not
we
pretend
know that because, well, Fight Doctor, we already know that. Everyone knows that. That's why they inspect the gloves. That's why the opposite corner is allowed to go to the other corner, to the other dressing room, to make sure everything's on the up and up. Like that goes without saying. We already know it's a dirty sport.
Yeah. We don't disagree with you on that one. H Money, what's up, man?
Yo, what's good, G Funky? How you guys feeling? Shout out to D Style Boxing, the Fight Doctor. Shout out to the whole ACP, my brother Maestro.
What's good, Ace Money?
What's good? How y'all feeling?
Good,
We're doing great, man. We're doing great. Glad you're here with us, man.
Man, appreciate it. Thank you for the invite.
Hey, can you play that clip against you, Funky, and then we could get H Money's thoughts on it? The Wilder
for
one?
a Wilder. Okay, here we go.
Many people, especially in boxing, they did this, Ray. They did that, Ray.
Yeah.
Allowed them to do this. They saw no evil. They heard it, so they didn't speak. You know. And then when you ask about the gloves, well, you can't not see that gloves do not bend. Your wrist can't bend unless you double joint it or something. How the hell it bends 90-degree angle? It don't keep a fold in. It don't keep a fold in space. Nor does it have loose space in it. It's impossible. And the way the world and a lot of people in boxing did this right here, I'm doing like that to everybody. Look, they couldn't even knock me out even under that juju. I was under some juice. They couldn't even knock me out. They couldn't even keep me down. Like I said, it took a disloyal trainer to throw the towel in. We know he don't have no power. We know he can't. He gave me the best of him in that ring, and I took it all. I knew what was going on with my body. I felt it when the mask came off. I knew something was wrong with me. I knew I was not right. He got a rap sheet of cheating. He got a rap sheet of abusing drugs. But you talk about a guy like me that ain't got no rap sheet or nothing, just pure power, pure work ethic, but I'm lying? And you got a guy that's known for cheating, and he's telling the truth? I know what I could do. You know what I'm saying? They knew it too, so they had to have something to slow me down. They had to find something that would slow me down. See, they thought they was going to take me out in the second and third round, but that voodoo judo, that gypsy gumbo soup didn't work. So they had to use my trainers. Man, let me stop, bro. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. I don't want to get into all that shit.
Yeah, please stop. What's your reaction, H Money? Go ahead, H Money.
He's a fucking joke, man. You can't take anything this guy say serious. First of all, he knew Tyson Fury had a history in the past. You knew that before you got in the ring with him in the first fight, and you still fought him. If he was such a cheater, why would Wilder even fight the guy? That's what I don't understand. And on top of that, you was at the press conference saying Tyson Fury was your brother. You love Tyson Fury. You gave him a kiss after the first fight. You was all buddy with him. And then once he whooped your ass, that's when you start making these fucking excuses, man. I'm fed up with Deontay Wilder. Every time he's looking for some type of excuse, disrespecting Mark Breland for no reason, a disloyal trainer because he threw in the towel, because he saved you. That's his job, is to protect this fighter. What about that Spike Water you talked about? Why did you fire Mark Breland? Was it because he threw in the towel, or was it because the Spike Water? Which one is it, Wilder? And as you can see while he's talking, he said, "Let me stop," because he knows that he's saying a whole bunch of bullshit. That's why he said, "Let me stop before I say the wrong shit." And a lot of people were offended by his interview today. A lot of people felt he made some racist comments talking about white privilege and all of this nonsense. Is white privilege because Tyson Fury was the better fighter that night? This is why he's going to lose that third fight, because he can't accept defeat. He got a lot of yes men around him like Malik Scott, and he's full of shit, man. He's full of shit. He's a punk bitch. Mark Breland got kids, bro. He got a son, and his son hit me up right after he saw that. He said, "Why does he keep talking about my dad, man? My dad hasn't said nothing about him in over a fucking month, and he's still talking, bro." Wilder's a joke. You know, I don't take him serious, man. I think he's doing this for money. I think he's looking for one more big payday, and he's gonna leave the sport of boxing for good, man. He's a joke, man. I don't take him serious, man.
I agree. And it's serious, he wouldn't have brought in Malik Scott as his trainer. So yes, man.
Not only that, a guy that took a dive for him. Let's not forget that. The man took a dive in the ring for Deontay Wilder to get him in line to fight Bermane Stiverne for that title shot he had, by the way. You know, so
allegedly.
Well, I mean, Fight Doctor again, man. I know that you want to go off the history and stuff like that, but we're more interested in to see if there's anything to do with fights 1 and 2 And for us, you know, we've went over everything with a fine-tooth comb here on HCP. I think it might be time to just say, you know what, he's done. He's making excuses, and hopefully he gets his shit together, man, for this third fight. Because does he have a puncher's chance? Absolutely. You know.
Well, can I add something to the whole? Can I add something to the whole glove controversy? And I've actually said this before. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that there was something going on with Fury's glove in the rematch. If that's the case, then somebody in Team Wilder would have had to have been complicit or negligent in allowing Tyson Fury to come to the ring with something wrong with his glove.
Maybe.
And if that's the case, then that's on Team Wilder as much as it's on Team Fury. Because as a fighter, you're supposed to have people around you, competent people around you, to be able to see these things and identify these things before they happen. Case in point, I go back to the fight between Shane Mosley and Antonio Margarito. And Margarito was coming to he attempted to load his gloves prior to the fight, but Nasir Richardson caught Team Margarito in the act of loading their gloves. Okay? Shane Mosley had sense enough to have competent people around him who would keep the opponent honest. Deontay Wilder should have had competent people around him so that the costume wouldn't have been a problem, the water wouldn't have been a problem, whatever wouldn't have been a problem. So if Tyson Fury were able to pull some okey doke prior to the rematch, then Deontay Wilder has to bear some of the blame because he should have had competent people around him to identify the things going sideways. And I think if we were to talk to Mark Breland, part of the reason why he got fired is because Mark Breland didn't play, he wasn't a yes man. And I think that ultimately Wilder's problem is that he doesn't want competent people around him. He wants yes men around him.
It's a good point. And I don't think, I think H Money hit it right on the head. Malik Scott is a yes man at the end of the day. And that's not what he needs. He needs someone that's going to tell him the truth to his face.
Does Wilder want a trainer or a hype man? What do you want?
Right. That's really
I think he wants a hype man, D.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree, man. Well,
and look, bro, I just talked to one of the best trainers in boxing as we were on the live right now. Coach Kevin Cunningham, future Hall of Fame trainer. He trained Corey Spinks, who was an undisputed welterweight champion. He trained Devin Alexander, and now he's training Erickson Lubin. You know, he just sent me the same video of Wilder that you just played, G Funky. He just sent me the same video, and he said, JD's get a pass, but you fire Mark Breland. And if it was the gloves, and the gloves were loaded, like you said, you keep talking about the gloves. That's what he just said. JD's was the one that inspected the gloves, and you gave him a pass, but you fired Mark Breland. Wilder's a fucking joke, bro. You know what I mean? I never wanted to see a fighter get beat so bad in my life, bro. I can't wait for this third fight, bro.
Yeah, I if I may, I have to agree with H Money. Shout out to H Money. That doesn't make any sense. If there was something wrong with Tyson Fury's gloves, and you know JD's was the man who was inspecting the gloves, but you fired Mark Breland, that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense, and actually that tells you everything you need to know about Deontay Wilder's mindset. All right, you fired the guy who protected you, and you retained the guy who potentially put your life in danger. That doesn't make any sense.
Who was at the glove selection meeting? JD's. Who was there to check when the hands were getting wrapped? JD's. Who was there when they put on the gloves? JD's. Who was there to inspect to make sure everything was good? JD's. What's his name? JD. Yet he's still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like still around, still doing his thing, because you know what JD's really good at? Who's really good at being a yes man? JD's. and that's why he's there.
HLD says Wilder wants a Flavor Flav hype man. Like, that's hilarious.
Yo, you know you got a hype man when like he's comparing it to Ali and shit. Okay, that's when you know you got a hype man. Like, yeah, that's Wilder, man. You know he's like Ali incarnate. Like, okay, brother, slow down there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's nothing like Ali. Ali was known for fighting the best and beating the best. Muhammad Ali shocked the world when he beat George Foreman, Sonny Liston. You know, so many fighters. Wilder will be remembered for getting his ass whooped in front of the whole world by Tyson Fury. In Deontay Wilder's shining moment, he got destroyed by Tyson Fury, man. And one more point I want to make. Wilder acts like he's so pro-black till this day, all that bullshit, right? But you fire the black man and you keep the white guy that check the gloves, man. This shit is a damn shame. This guy been using race to build up his profile for too long, man. He doesn't give a fuck about black people, man. You know, look at all the black people that Wilder tried to tear down. Anthony Joshua, he did it with Mark Breland. You tore down Mark Breland, assassinated his character. You tore down Andre Ward. You tore down Floyd Mayweather and said Mayweather was jealous of you because Mayweather thought Tyson Fury won the first fight. So you don't give a fuck about black people, Wilder. It's all a lie. It's all a game, man. It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick, bro.
It's starting to look that way, man, for sure. You know, he's just got to man up. He just got to go look himself in the mirror and say, look, man, get your shit together, train hard for this fight, and just, you know, do your best that you can. Stop making excuses. You know, we all know he's got a big right hand. You know, could he land it and hurt Fury? Absolutely. He's done it before. But my thing is this. Fury got up, you know. When he got blasted with that right hand in the first fight, he got up and continued to fight and fought well. Raw Boxing TV.
What is going on, my people?
How you doing, man?
We're here, brother. Sorry I couldn't join you a little earlier, but
oh, it's all good, man.
Watch out. He's been in the gym, brother. He's been in the gym. Ooh. You know what I mean? I gotta like my posture too. Like, go ahead, brother.
I think we all have to, man. You know, we're retired, and if we just sit around, we oxidate.
You're right.
You know what I mean? So Deontay Wilder strikes again, huh?
Yeah, he's doubling down, bro. He's doubling down. What do you think, man? What do you think?
Boy, I think that the best thing a salesman can do is use racism. Racism is a very lucrative word in America nowadays. If you don't agree with me and you're of a different ethnicity of me, it must be because you're racist. You know, coincidentally, this week I was watching a men's health article on the White House chef, which is a monstrous person. I mean, this guy has 24-inch pythons in his arms, and you know, they put out this ridiculous article that he wakes up at 3 a.m. to prepare breakfast for the president and all of that good stuff, and he goes nonstop from 3 a.m. till 1 o'clock in the morning the next day, sleeps only 2 hours a day, expects us to believe that is possible on a daily basis, right? And on top of that, eats 12,000 calories a day. And the minute somebody else disagree with him, we're talking about the White House chef, an ex-military guy, right? The minute that other bodybuilders, other boxers, other men's nutritionists disagreed with them, the first thing he said, wow, looking at this people not believing me reminds me very clear of my skin color. So when I see Deontay Wilder doing things like this, when I see the chef doing things like this, when I see these YouTube channels doing things like this, it clearly reminds me and restates in my mind that racism is a very lucrative word. I mean, look, as a Latino, you would not believe how many times I could have used the race card to get away with things and have the upper hand on a certain subject, right? Taking advantage of the social fabric of this, I would like to say world, but unfortunately more of this nation. It's disgusting. Deontay Wilder is using the word because he knows it sells. Deontay Wilder's using the words because his scar has not healed. He still has that psychological scar in his head that he went from being a god in his own mind to being a man. I mean, let's be real here. He got beat. He got a gift on the first fight. I'll argue that to the tomb with anybody. That should have never been a draw. You can't win a fight because you had two knockdowns and you only won 2 rounds. You can't even draw a fight like that. The numbers don't lie. And then on the second fight, we saw what happened. I think that Deontay Wilder will always have the puncher's chance. Nobody can deny that. I have tried to force myself to gain some respect back for Deontay Wilder, but every time he comes up with this sissified stuff, it's just it's hard to do. Today, coincidentally, I posted on my Twitter a video, and forgive me, y'all know I usually don't cuss, but I said I will not contribute to the pussification of this nation, and that is a fact, because when I see these things like that, I could never see myself wanting my kids to progress if all I do is every day when they wake up tell them, well, remember, there's the boogeyman out there, the white man that doesn't want you to do this, and he's got white privilege, and you're just a brown guy. Because all I'm doing is psychologically holding them back. All I'm doing is destroying the psychological, ambition of my kids to be somebody in life. And so I can then later complain, oh, my kids ain't nothing because the man won't let them. No, my kids ain't nothing because I destroyed them before they even got to take off. My kids ain't nothing because I cut their wings off before they even took flight. And when I see Deontay Wilder and many others in America doing the exact same thing about their ethnicity, don't blame others for the very things you're subliminally doing. And that's all I have to say on that.
Very well said, man.
Hey, Ron, what do you think about him saying that it's impossible to bend your wrist back like this?
Who said that?
Right now,
Who said that?
He said he went like this. You can't do it. Look, it's impossible. He said. Oh, yeah,
who, Wilder?
Yeah,
that's what he said. Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that.
It's impossible, bro.
Look at that.
Mira.
I mean, again, people, the problem we're having, and I'll say this nation because this is where I live, but it's really happening at a worldwide level. The problem we're having is how sensitive people are becoming. We have lost that breed of people that are willing to look at problems in their face and say, bring it. We've lost that. They don't exist anymore. Today, I can't even say a certain words because you might get offended. Today, right. I feel sorry. I really do. I feel sorry for Caucasian people, white people, because it seems that, one, they've forgotten their own history, because somehow in school they teach us that the only people that have been a slave in history have been black folks, and that's a total lie. And that is used against us, and that is used against them. But at the end of the day, when you do your proper research in world history, you're going to find out, hey, the white folks can use the slave card against you too. We've all been a slave to each other at one point or another, because humanity is about conquering territories. Conquering territories. It has never ended.
So wait, hold on a second.
Okay, come on.
Time in, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now,
I knew you was going.
Sir. Let me ask you a question. How much do you know about world history?
I don't know nothing.
All right.
I'll let you teach me.
All right.
I'll let you teach me.
So you are welcome to be the expert on the history of your people, right?
Who is my people? Who is my people? That's the one I always like to take people. Who is my people?
Your people is whoever you identify as. That's your people. And I will allow you.
I am a human.
I will allow you to identify yourself. Yes?
No, you won't allow me to, or disallow me, because I allow myself to do whatever. With all respect, nobody allows me to do nothing. I do what I want.
All right, so you are from a certain place, right?
Okay.
Which means you're not from a certain other place. You belong to a certain group, and you don't belong to certain other groups. Yes?
Correct.
So now on the issue of slavery. On the issue of slavery, the African never, ever practiced slavery. And there is no history that says the African practiced slavery until the practice was introduced to the African continent by non-African people. So when you are talking about slavery, and when you say things that we have conquered each other and we've all practiced slavery against each other, no, sir, that is not true.
Okay, let me know when you're done.
African people have never, ever practiced what we understand today as slavery against any other group of people prior to the practice being introduced to the African continent by non-African people. So I just wanted before the conversation continues, I just wanted to say that.
Oh, ain't no confrontation, brother.
No, I said
you might consider it a confrontation.
I said before the conversation.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's go ahead and backtrack a little bit. According to you and your knowledge, and I would really like for you to get away from your avatar and put yourself in front of the camera. That would be the most respectful things for the panel. But according to you, Africans have never ever practiced slavery against other people. Did I hear that correctly?
There is no history.
There is no history, according to you.
There is no history that says anything about Africans practicing what we understand today as slavery.
Okay, I'm going to say something.
Let me finish, please. Prior to the practice being introduced to the African continent by non-African people.
When was that practice introduced, according to your knowledge?
When the Southwest Asians brought slavery to the continent around about the 7th century. Prior to, no slavery on the African continent by African people.
Wrong. Archaeology would disagree with you. And you know why archaeology would disagree with you? Can I ask you a question? Is Africa a country or a continent?
Africa is a continent.
Okay, within that continent, we have many countries, correct?
No, we don't.
We don't?
So, see, here's the problem. See.
Oh, so you're of a Shriners mentality. Is that what you are?
Here's the problem.
Are you of a Shriners mentality? Are you of a Shriners mentality? You're not answering my question because I already grabbed you. You're of a Shriners mentality, aren't you?
There is no question to answer.
So let me you say there's no question. Here's the question. Here's the question. Are you of a Shriners mentality?
You have a misunderstanding, and I wish to set the record straight, if I may. Mm-hmm. Now, see, here's what you should understand.
You've been trying, but it's not that straight. A
simple reading of history would tell you that all of the borders that are currently drawn on the African continent, those borders were drawn by Europeans.
Oh, of course. The white Europeans, yes. The white Europeans.
But these are the facts. These are the facts, sir. And a simple examination of history says as much. Okay? Familiarize yourself with the simple history, okay?
Fight Doctor, was there slavery in ancient Egypt?
Thank you.
No, there wasn't.
Man, get this guy out of here, man. What you mean there wasn't? What you mean there wasn't? Archaeologists, you seem to always want to talk, but you don't want other people to talk. You seem to always want to talk, but you don't want people to talk. Right? For you to sit here and say, go
ahead, I'm listening.
I've been trying. For you to sit here and say that somehow, there was no slavery in Egypt automatically disqualifies your credibility 100%. 100%. For you to say, let me ask you a question. Who was the first?
Who says that there was slavery in Egypt?
Again, I haven't even finished, but you're talking again.
But you make the accusation.
I haven't even accusation to who? To you?
You say that there was slavery in Egypt.
Accusation to you?
But who says that? Who said
accusation to you? Accusation to you?
Don't we have papyruses that back that up from ancient Egypt?
Oh, he doesn't believe that because he doesn't believe that because it was written by the white man, bro. This is a Shriners mentality.
So again,
this is a Shriners mentality. Hey man, it's like you get all of these things.
So you're the one who's blessed with all the knowledge. So I'm asking you.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
There was slavery.
Who built the pyramids? Like, was those like who built the pyramids?
We don't know who built the Great Pyramid. We don't know. We don't know who built the Great Pyramid. We don't know.
What's more likely, that aliens did it or that slaves did it?
It's more likely that aliens did it because there's no history that says anything about slaves having built the Great Pyramids.
Okay, I mean, I've
So
seen a lot of.
my question is,
G-Funky, you gotta allow me to do this.
Come from? Where does my question is this?
You
Where
gotta
does
allow me to
information
do
come
this.
from?
G-Funky.
Where does this information come from?
In regards to pyramid being
You
slave.
would say that there was slavery in ancient Egypt.
In
Where
regards
does this
to
information come from?
in regards to pyramid
Where
being
does this
built,
information come from?
in
It's a simple
regards
question.
Fight doctor, bro. You sound very hype and really and truly zero fear on this end, because I usually, I'm having a dialogue.
It's a simple question.
You
say
sound,
that there was slavery in ancient Egypt. My question to you is where
emotions.
Where does this information come from? It is a simple question.
I got your heart. I got your emotions.
So again,
but in regards,
there was slavery in ancient Egypt.
But in regards,
it's a simple question.
The minute you shut your mouth and you allow me to answer, maybe you can learn that. But you keep running your trap, sucker, and you ain't gonna learn nothing. So to backtrack it, in regards to pyramids being being built by alien, G-Funky.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
That's one. And two, where do we have information that there was slavery in Egypt? Well, maybe the whole entire spectrum of archaeology is wrong, right? Is that what we're talking about here, Fight Doctor? Oh, wait a minute. It has to be a black archaeologist for you to believe him, right? Is that what it is?
I didn't say that. You put
Shriners mentality, my brother. I read you from the minute you started questioning.
Again,
Shriners mentality.
So simple question.
Go talk to young Pharaoh about it. Go talk to young Pharaoh about it. Shriners mentality.
Young Pharaoh is your source. Really?
No. I don't believe in no damn young Pharaoh. Shriners mentality. That's all I gotta say.
My question to you is, where is your source of this information?
I just told you the entire spectrum of archaeology.
Oh, no. It can't be the entire spectrum of archaeology because you haven't read the entire spectrum of archaeology. So my question is, who? Where is this source?
Who was Anthony Johnson? Who was Anthony Johnson?
Where's the source?
Who was Anthony Johnson?
That aliens built it.
Who was Anthony Johnson? Who was Anthony Johnson? Who was Anthony Johnson?
Anthony Johnson is your source, yes? All right. Now, let me show you how ridiculous.
Who was Anthony Johnson?
Let me show you how ridiculous this is, right?
You weak-minded individual. That's what you are, and it is because of mentality like you that a lot of young people can't have no progression because people like you set them back.
I tell you what. We're going to see who has the weak mind here, right? We're going to see. Now let's examine that. Now, your source on ancient Egypt is Anthony Johnson, right? Okay.
No, that's not what I said.
Okay.
That's not what I said.
Who is your source?
I asked you a question. I asked you a question.
Archaeology.
I asked you a question. Who was Anthony Johnson? And somehow you're saying that is my source.
I have no idea who Anthony Johnson is.
And the conversation's over because you're lacking knowledge.
Hey, Fight Doctor, I know you worded it by saying slavery as we know it today, but to me, slavery is slavery. You know what I mean? So, like, if anywhere in the world, if one tribe beat another tribe and they took their women as their own, and you know what I mean? Isn't that a form of slavery? When you take someone against their will and they're now your property. It may not be the way it was done in the United States with paperwork and auctions and all that, but it's still a form of slavery. That
if you wish to make that argument,
I lost mouth, but I think when he says we've all enslaved each other in one way, shape, or form, I do think to a certain degree that is true.
No, it's not. It might be true for non-Africans, but it was not true for Africans before the practice was introduced to the African continent by non-African people. No slavery.
So after it was introduced, let's
say that he's correct. D-Style. Let's say that Fight Doctor is 100% correct. Fight Doctor, I'm going to agree with you. Is that fair? Let's agree with you for now.
You may do what you like. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just
So what I like. Okay. So then what I like now, what I would like to do now is agree with you. Okay. Africans did not practice slavery as we know it until it was introduced by the Asians. Am I correct on that so far?
Exactly.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. If I have a son that's never killed nobody, and then I teach him to kill people and he starts killing people, is he as guilty as I am? Is he still a murderer? Thank you, G Funky.
So
this has been a pleasure.
What exactly is your point?
I think my point's been taken well by people that use common sense and logic.
What? So then when are you going to start using something?
I think the people, you should read the chat, homie. You should read the chat. Okay, so let me explain it to you because I understand. I get what you're saying.
Everyone can start using common sense and reason.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So you want me to let me break it down to you since you don't process it as much as you should. In an effort to exempt Africa from practicing slavery, you said, hey, they never practiced slavery as we know it till the Asians introduced us to it, right? My thing to you is, it doesn't matter who introduced it to them. The minute they chose to practice it, they became as guilty as those that introduced it to them. Does that make a little common sense to you?
If that's your line of reasoning, I have no problem with that.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't have no problem with it.
If someone who owns slaves has a kid, and then that kid inherits the slaves and keeps them,
but all of that is besides the point. All of that is besides the point. All right, and the point of the matter is this: is that we need to set the historical record straight. Because unfortunately, for some people, they've chosen to believe the word of the oppressor over the fact of the matter.
The word of the oppressor. Hey, by the way, Fight Doctor, I'm still waiting for you to tell me who my peoples is.
Your people are whoever you say they are.
Oh, okay.
I'm not you. Whoever you claim your people to be, that's who they are.
No, you're gonna get it because
what I can tell you is that your people are not African. Okay, so as such, you don't get to speak for them. All right? Now,
how do you know that? Hey, do you know? How do you know that?
Are your people African?
How do you know that? You made the accusation.
I just asked the question. Are they?
How do you know that?
Are your people African?
How do you know that?
Your people African?
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Your people.
How do you know that?
You don't speak their language.
I'll answer.
You don't speak their language. You don't know anything about their history.
Wait. Hold on. Give me a minute here. Give me a minute. Let me say something.
Hold on.
He's got to learn some world history.
If I'm the idiot, then why don't you instruct me and tell me and tell me what you know about history?
Raw's from one of the most. Raw is
tell him, Maestro.
Raw is from the most African place in the New World.
Shut your mouth, Fight Doctor.
It's a place where they still speak Yoruba to this day.
Shut your mouth,
practice the Yoruba religion, and that place is called Cuba.
Shut your mouth, Fight Doctor.
Fight Doctor.
And in case you want to know who my peoples is, I guarantee you I have close descendants of mine. I'm talking about grandparents. I'm talking about grandparents that are straight Africans. You probably ain't got none because yours has been diluted.
Fight Doctor.
Is it really? Okay.
So shut your mouth.
So if you are indeed African, then I would suggest you go learn something about your history.
Maybe you should learn something about the actual history instead of believing all of these Shriners.
Talk about the actual history because you seem to think there are more countries.
Shriners.
You seem to think there are more countries on the African continent than there actually are.
Fight Doctor.
And you seem to be willing to believe everything.
Fight Doctor. The host of the show is asking you to be quiet. The host of the show.
I want to ask you a question. Just one question. Okay. Can you see what I have on the screen right now? You see what I have on the screen?
Yep.
Okay. This is a slave market recorded in ancient Egypt of Nubian slaves being sold in Africa. Are you telling me this is fake or what?
It was done by the white man, G Funky. You can't believe it.
What I'm telling you is that I've seen this image many times. It's not a slave market.
Okay, what is it?
Those are captives. There's a difference between.
All right.
prisoners
So
of
what?
war and
Can I
slaves.
jump in real quick?
Yeah,
I
go ahead,
gotta make 2 points, and Raw, my face is gone because I'm ready for bed, and I can't put the camera on right now. Number one, what Fight Doctor's trying to say, I believe, is that it wasn't chattel slavery, which is a very specific form of slavery, the transatlantic chattel slave trade. Okay? That's not to say, though, that there was not slavery in other countries, because there clearly has been slavery all over the world. There's also been indentured servitude here in the New World as well. Indians in Trinidad and Guyana, Irish here in North America. We could go on. But
Tell
what
him
I
about
want
the
to say,
Maestro, tell him about the Altuves and the Bacchanals. Tell him about that. He don't know nothing about that.
What I want to say is this, and there are people in the chat, I could think of one specifically who might disagree with this, but I'm going to say it anyways. The problem nowadays is not slaves and should not be the issue of race, because we're all a human race. The problem is social class. It's the haves mistreating the have-nots. And a black rich person is just as likely to exploit a black poor person as a white person is to a black person, because it's social class. People identify with their social class. Case in point, look at all the Chinese sweatshops. Who run those? Chinese people. You're just as much likely to be exploited by your own skin color as by anybody else. So that is the last point I wanted to make, and I'm going to continue to listen as I head to bed.
Another one bites the dust.
Thank you, Maestro. So what I want to do now is I want to switch topics now, because I feel like we went into a whole different thing. And look, I don't mind having these conversations about history and things like that. I actually enjoy them. Maybe one day we could do something when boxing slows down, but right now boxing is on absolute fire right now. We got fights every weekend. And speaking of on fire, this is the last topic of the show, and then we're going to close it out. Oscar De La Hoya comes out and says a few things about his ex-employee, Canelo Alvarez, and says, I'm paraphrasing, I don't have the tweet or whatever it was, but he said something like, this guy doesn't know much about boxing. He keeps his head up when he's hooking, and he's on his heels, and then at the end he says, and he ducks Charlo or avoids Charlo, something like that. You know, I want to go around to get everyone's opinion on what Oscar had to say, and I'll start with the Fight Doctor. Man, what do you think of what Oscar had to say about Canelo?
Well, I mean, so I'll say this. Alvarez is currently taking the path of least resistance, right? He hasn't fought a serious challenge since the Jacobs fight, and it doesn't look like he's looking to fight a serious challenge anytime soon. Having said that, Oscar De La Hoya, where ducking is concerned, is the last person who should point the finger. Oscar De La Hoya ducked Winky Wright. Oscar De La Hoya ducked Vernon Forrest. Oscar De La Hoya shamelessly ducked the Trinidad rematch. And there's probably some guys that I'm missing. So where ducking is concerned, Oscar De La Hoya needs to keep his mouth shut and go find him some nose candy and a kitchen utensil.
So
all right.
So I have the quote here. I could just read it really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Oscar De La Hoya, in my Oscar De La Hoya voice, please, this guy does everything wrong. Head up, and he throws hooks on his heels, flat-footed. What else? Oh, he avoids Charlo. That's what he said. And Canelo told him to go fuck himself.
So before we respond to what anybody else has to say, anybody's comments, D-Style, I want to know what you think of what Oscar said, and then we'll go to Raw Boxing from there.
Sure. Look, I mean, it's showing how bitter he is that Canelo left, you know, and a lot of things are unraveling for De La Hoya right now, like a lot, you know. And all due respect to anybody out there that still defends De La Hoya, I just have to disagree with you guys. I mean, it's reached the point now where it's obvious. I think all the problems Canelo had, I always wondered, like, why is it so hard for Canelo to make these fucking fights? Like, why is it so hard to make the Billy Joe fight last year? And what was it about it? And I always thought it has to be De La Hoya, you know. And as soon as he won the arbitration or whatever it was, right? As soon as he won he got out of that contract or whatnot, and he won the court case. The moment, I mean, within days, we had a fight announced against a world champion in that division. Right. And then he fought a mandatory after that. And then he fought another world champion. So in 5 months, he collected 3 of the 4 belts. I personally wouldn't call that a path of least resistance whatsoever, but that's my opinion. But yeah, I think it's De La Hoya being, bitter that Canelo left.
All right. Raw Boxing TV. What are your thoughts on Oscar De La Hoya?
So again, Rick James.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
That's one. And here's why. Because, I mean, let's be real. I'll put it to you this way. I once had a girlfriend that, according to her, she loved me. It wasn't until I broke up with her that she started talking trash about me. Right? Why? Because she was bitter that I left her. She was very bitter. This is the same thing with Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo Alvarez. Who in the Golden Boy roster is racking up the amount of money that Canelo Alvarez is racking up? Name me one fighter right now. There is none. Which fighter at the Golden Boy roster is bigger than Canelo? None. Absolutely none. Another thing, in regards of Canelo Alvarez having a path of least resistance, if that is the case, I still say that his path has still offered more resistance than Demetrius Andrade, than Jamal Charlo. I don't want to say Jermell because Jermell is a real lion. That is a real lion. Jermell Charlo is a real lion. So in regards to path of least resistance, might be still a little more resistance than Bubu Andrade and Charlo. And as far as the man not being a good boxer, being on his heels and all of that, hey, guess what? Canelo's never been accused of being the most excellent, purest technician there is. Canelo, however, has been accused of a fighter that's learned every single time he gets in the ring, and it's undeniable. You've seen a Canelo that was very upper body stationary against a guy like Cotto's brother. Forgot his first name. Very upper body stationary against Mayweather, against Lara.
Jose
Cotto, that's right. And then you see a Canelo that started developing an upper body movement. And all of a sudden we have a Canelo that bobs, weaves, slips, and slides. That knows how to pull a right hand. That knows how to feint with a cheap left hook to the body and come back with an overhand right. So it doesn't matter if he's always on his heels. The fact of the matter is what he has learned and he has put into practice has worked till now. And maybe in this path of least resistance, he might continue to do that. And the day that his adversaries, the one that he's supposedly ducking, the day they put at least a little more resistance in their path, maybe we'll get to see a fight. Because I sure as hell want to see him against those guys as well.
I agree. I want to see him fight Charlo, Andrade, Benavidez. Obviously, I want to see Plant first because that's for Undisputed. Big fight there, and I'm all about Undisputed here.
Me too.
But I'll say this, man. I find it very convenient that, and D-Style and I, we've been a little back and forth on this situation as far as Charlo goes. A few years back, we were accused of being the Charlo fan club because we wanted to see Canelo fight Charlo. Now, it was brought to our attention from Nopal Baxianos, who's in the chat. He said, well, Oscar said they made an offer to Charlo and they turned it down. Okay, well, we were like, well, we want to see proof of that. We can't just go off of Oscar's word, and that's exactly what a lot of the Canelo detractors say too. Like, oh, we can't just go off of Oscar's word. He's a liar. He's a liar. But now when he says something that is good for your narrative, now his word is gold, 100% gold.
Facts.
And I just find that to be very, very convenient. Now, as far as him, I think it's bitterness, it's sour grapes on his part. But we heard this first. I'm gonna play some clips. This is what we heard first, right?
But we offered Charlo pretty lucrative deal to fight Canelo last year, and I don't know who turned it down. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Charlo, but I don't know who did. But that train already left.
So we seeing that, and so we were like, okay. I mean, Oscar's gonna say what Oscar's gonna say. Obviously, he's gonna side with Canelo. He's his promoter, right? Then this happened.
I'm 154. I ain't the one. I would never turn down no motherfucking Canelo. Y'all know what it is. I ain't never turning my money down.
Whoa. Whoa. Then we also heard around the same time Willie Monroe come out, who was a guy who was supposed to fight Jamal Charlo. That fight ended up being scratched. I think he ended up fighting Korobov or Adams, one of those guys. I can't remember which one. But this is his thoughts on the Charlos.
Take it or not, I think you would have taken it. Now, I don't know Charlo's situation. I do want to speak to him in that regard, but what's your just perspective of him saying that, like, Charlo didn't want to take that fight?
Personally, man, no shade, but them dudes don't want to fight nobody that they don't think they can beat. You know what I mean? If they don't got the upper hand politically, they don't got the upper hand when it comes to the paperwork behind the fights, they don't got the upper hand physically, they don't want if they don't got that upper hand, you know, some type of upper hand in some way, they don't want to fight. And you fighting a megastar like Canelo, you're not going to have the upper hand. So they're not, those dudes don't want to fight. No, I mean, if you look at Jamal, like, no shade, man, but he's been fighting a bunch of junior middleweights. He went and fought somebody that I beat 5 years ago. You know what I mean? And shout out to Brandon Adams, because Brandon Adams is an awesome fighter.
He had a good fight. He
Yeah.
had a good performance.
It was a real good performance. But I mean, I fought Brandon Adams in 2014. You know what I mean? Like, and then he fought this, what's this other kid that he just fought, the Irish kid?
Oh, you talk about, what's his name? Hogan, Dennis Hogan.
At 54, and Brandon Adams is really a 54.
Correct.
So that he'd rather blow up 54s and guys that he'll have an easy time with than to take somebody that's really going to get in there and push him.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that he didn't take the fight, but I tell you what, they throw it my way, it's going to happen. And to take somebody
Strong words there from Willie Monroe. So, I mean, I would say this, man. I don't think that Canelo's taking the, what was it that Fight Doctor said? What'd you say again, Fight Doctor? The least
path of
least resistance.
Okay, yeah, I would disagree with that. I think he's taken on a lot of good fighters throughout his career, and he's getting ready to be undisputed. Now, I know you have your issue with undisputed. we've had you on HCP shows before.
No, but we like Fight Doctor agreed with me, right? That he's a lineal champion at 168.
I didn't agree. I said I need to look at it. I said it's possible. Maybe I would have to go back and look at it.
Okay. Did you look at it?
I did not. But I tell you what, before the next time I come on here, I will have looked it over.
Well, by the time you see it, it's going to have all the belts. So,
yeah. I mean, for me, it's like this. You know, if we're going to say that Canelo's taking what was the term again? I'm sorry. Got a bad short term.
Path of least resistance.
Resistance.
Now, that's not to say that his whole career has been easy. That's not the accusation I'm making. I'm saying specifically that he has been fighting soft touches since the Jacobs fight.
Okay. Well, can we say the same with Charlo then, with his career? Can you agree to say the same about him?
Sure thing. I mean, listen, I give credit where credit is due, and I give none where none is due. And Charlo has not had the toughest career. I mean, yeah, his last fight was tough, but outside of that, who has he fought?
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
look, it may not be the path you want him to take, but to say it's the path of least resistance, like there's no other easier path, I think is a stretch. You know what I mean? Because here's what you're missing, Fight Doctor. When you say you're cool with the Jacobs fight, right? Okay, and then he fought Kovalev after that, and then he was out of the ring because he was having these issues with the zone, and there was also a pandemic. You know what I mean? There's only like 7 months of action where he was actually able to fight since the Jacobs fight.
And he comes back after that long stretch to fight the number 168 pounder that won the same trophy that Andre Ward won. That very trophy that people gave so much value to. That very trophy that people used to put Andre Ward at the pinnacle of the game. That guy was Smith. Canelo came after a long layoff to fight him and schooled him. So from Jacobs to now.
So now we're putting Callum Smith in the same category as Andre Ward. Is that what
No. Maybe that's
Why
what you
even
meant.
bother to bring up Andre Ward?
Maybe that's what you wanted to say. This is maybe the way
No,
you want to.
listen, you brought up Andre Ward. I didn't bring up Andre Ward.
Okay, so let me give you a factual question then. Did Callum Smith won the exact same trophy as Andre Ward?
What the hell does that have to do with anything?
Obviously, you're not going to answer. Obviously, you're not going to
Just because
answer.
you don't like to answer the question doesn't mean I'm not answering your question. And your
It's just a yes or no question. Ask me the same question.
Your question betrays your fanboyism.
Ask me. See? Hey, G Funky. Thank you, Fight Doctor, because I was used to being called a Canelo hater that to hear somebody call me a Canelo fanboy, it makes my day. Thank you, Fight Doctor.
I didn't call you a Canelo fanboy.
You just said my fanboyism.
I said the question betrays your fanboyism.
Fanboyism of who?
Do you really believe that? Do you really believe
you're easy work, brother?
After coming back from a layoff, this isn't like right after the Jacobs fight. It was after it wasn't even a layoff. He had an issue with the zone and Golden Boy, right? He was trying to get out of the contract with Golden Boy. There's been fighters that have been out for years. In fact, I know you don't want to hear them compared, but it is comparable. Like Andre Ward was out of the ring due to contractual issues. That's the truth. You know what I mean? So like he was out of the ring for a while. When Ward came back from his layoff, do you remember who he fought?
He took a tune-up.
Okay, so
what's wrong with again?
Canelo didn't take a tune-up. Canelo fought the champion of the division, brother.
Fought what champion?
Smith was the champion. Smith. He was he was the number one guy.
Callum Smith looked like a dead man. All right.
He was made to look like a dead man. He was forced to look like a dead man.
Listen, at the end of the day, I go on what I see, right? Now, Callum Smith may have been the number one guy in the division, which is debatable. But what I do know is this. There were a lot of ifs, ands, and buts. Callum Smith looked like a dead man. He had a short training camp. It looked to me like a setup, the path of least resistance, okay? And I stand by my statement that Alvarez has not fought a serious challenge since the Jacobs fight, all right? And
unfortunately, a lot of channels out there don't even agree with that. A lot of channels say that even Jacobs was an easy fight, and he's not even that good, and stuff like that.
Look, I'm giving Jacobs the benefit of the doubt, but if you want to not consider the Jacobs fight a serious challenge, I would not argue against that. I'm giving Alvarez the benefit of the doubt.
So that's what the benefit of the doubt. Right? That's not even like just giving him credit just to give him credit.
I'm giving credit where credit is due. And I think that Jacobs was a good middleweight. All right. So fighting Jacobs, I don't look back and think that was a soft touch. I don't. And I'm not going to accuse Alvarez of having taken a soft touch for the Jacobs fight.
Was GGG a good middleweight?
Of course he was. And anyone who says differently doesn't know shit about boxing, period.
What's that?
Anyone who says that Golovkin at the time Alvarez fought him wasn't a good middleweight doesn't know shit about boxing.
I agree.
Was Alexander Brand a top super middleweight in the world? Like when Andre Ward came back?
No, not to my recollection.
Who would you say win a fight between Brand and Smith today?
Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, and I really don't. I really don't care because these are two guys who, again, they're not going to be on the top of they're not going to be in top 5 of my pound for pound list. So I really don't care. At the end of the day, I'm looking at what has transpired since the Jacobs fight. And what I see is a guy.
I just don't think
you guys want to talk about Andre Ward. Here's what Andre Ward did after he came back from his layoff. He went and fought Kovalev twice. Now, Kovalev was undefeated, all right, and was knocking out everybody and was considered a legitimate.
No. Hold on. Let me take you back a little bit, okay? He fought Paul Smith in 2015. Did he not? After his layoff? Okay, and then he came back. Well, I'm telling you, bro. I'm looking at it, so I'm just telling you. You know what I mean? Like I'm telling you what he did. Like when he was gone for the layoff. Then he was gone for a while, and he actually fought Sullivan Barrera, who for a time was a good opponent. Then he fought Alexander Brand after that. You know what I mean? And then he fought Kovalev.
So if I'm not mistaken, the brand fight was a tune-up for a possible Golovkin match, if I'm not mistaken. But however, either way it went, Ward did fight Kovalev. However it went, Ward did fight Kovalev. Kovalev at the time was undefeated and was considered a legitimate threat. A lot of people picked Kovalev to win that fight.
Well, he actually won the first one, in my opinion.
I thought he won the first fight as well. But the Brand fight was the fight just before the Kovalev fight. He was already at light heavyweight at the time, and the Golovkin thing was kind of already over. That's a fight I wish would have happened, but it didn't. But yeah, Ward. That's tremendous work there from Ward. You know.
Good
but
point.
G, I think Fight Doctor completely misunderstood or got triggered or something when I said the name Underwood, because what he missed was that I was trying to make a connection of how devalued by the Canelo retractors was Callum Smith was, right? But at the same time, most of those same retractors praised Andre Ward for winning that trophy. And I'm like, so if you're praising Andre Ward for winning that trophy, how are you going to then devalue this guy who won the same trophy, who is undefeated? Canelo came back to fight him immediately after a layoff. It makes no sense that Callum Smith would be devalued after winning the exact same trophy that you used to praise another fighter. That's what I was trying to say. It
makes perfect sense because Callum Smith is not halfway as accomplished as Andre Ward is. And to put Andre Ward and Callum Smith in the same sentence betrays your fanboyism because it doesn't make any sense.
It makes sense. Whether you like it or not, they have to be
drawn between Andre Ward and Callum Smith. They just aren't. Okay,
whether you like it or not, they have to be in the same sentence. Because when you go to the history of the winners of that trophy in that weight division, they're in the same sentence. They're going to appear there as winner of the same tournament. So whether you like it or not, I guess my fanboyism has an upper hand here.
Well, not only
again,
that,
fanboy isn't of I don't know who, but if you're referring to Canelo, now in nowhere have you heard me say that their boxing skills is at the same level.
In the Hall of Fame, then you will have a point.
Look, nobody's saying that Callum Smith is good at Ward, bro. No, nobody's saying
that's what I'm saying. Hey, bro. Hey. It's the mentality, bro. I'm telling you, it's the mentality.
Nobody's saying Ward. Like nobody here would pick Ward.
I haven't never said. Matter of fact, the day anybody hears me make any suggestions similar to that Andre Ward and Callum Smith are anywhere near,
let me
just go ahead and slap me through the computer, bro.
Here's what I'll say. Like what I'm trying to get at is this, Fight Doctor. Like sometimes I get that you're using your opinion and your eye test to distinguish whether or not you're going to give Canelo credit for that win. But at the end of the day, if Canelo made him look bad, that's what Canelo did. You know what I mean? You got to put your opinion to the side a little bit and say, you know what? At the end of the day, he came back. He didn't fight some dude ranked like 90th in the world or some shit like that. He fought one of the main title holders of the division when he came back from a long layoff. You got to give him credit for that objectively. Come on, dude.
Is it true or not that Callum Smith only had a 4-week camp?
Yes, it's true.
How long was Canelo's camp?
So did Canelo.
So, sir, I'm sorry, but again, context is important here, right? And first and foremost, the guy only had a 4-week camp. All right?
So did Canelo.
The guy only had a 4-week camp. All right.
So did Canelo.
That's not a good point.
Above and beyond that, the guy had a 4-week camp.
So did
came
Canelo.
to the fight looking like a dead man, and Canelo did not look like a dead man.
No. Okay? Let me explain.
Would it have mattered? Would it have mattered if he had an 8-week cap to you?
We will never know because that didn't happen. Listen, I'm not going to deal with ifs, ands, or buts. I'm going to deal with the facts as they are.
Facts. The word facts. The word facts is like a cheap prostitute nowadays. It's used too easy to cover the tracks. The word facts is like that harlot in the middle of Sodom and Gomorrah. Let's be real here for a minute, okay? Let's be real here for a minute. Whether the guy had 1,700 weeks to prepare for this fight or 4 weeks, what transpired in that fight had nothing to do with shape. Had all and not to do with suppression of game plan. How do you suppress a big guy's game plan? You feint in the middle. You stay in the pocket, which is exactly what happened the entire fight. You wait until he even tries to make an attack, and you attacked his weaker part, which is the body. If you look at that fight, and one thing you're ignoring, or maybe you didn't see it, I'm not going to make an accusation because I wasn't there watching the fight with you, Fight Doctor. What happened in that second round when Canelo fainted and landed out that overhand right on the left bicep of Smith? It took away the very weapon that Smith has used throughout his entire career to initiate attack. He busted the bicep and in the process took away the jab. What can a fighter who has depended on his jab his entire career do without a jab? That's my question to you, sir. Because you didn't see a Callum Smith gassed out. You didn't see a Callum Smith, out of shape.
Is, do I think Alvarez is a better fighter than Callum Smith? Then yes. I thought that beforehand.
Yeah.
But that's not the question that's before us. The question that's before us right now is Alvarez taking the path of least resistance? And the answer to that question is yes. The Callum Smith fight is Exhibit A.
I hate to break it to you, but we don't know if Charlo can beat Smith unless they fight. Okay? Unless they actually go in there and fight. We don't know if Charlo could have beaten Billy Joe Saunders unless he went in there and fought him. We do not know because Charlo hasn't fought shit for us to really judge him like that. Okay? And these guys have the same, it's like the same type of accomplishments. 2-time world champions as far as, Billy Joe and Charlo go, okay? It's your opinion that it's a path to least resistance. I'm assuming you want him to fight Charlo and Benavidez, right? If I remember correctly. That's what you want him to fight,
Charlo
right?
is a listen, Charlo is a middleweight, all right?
Okay, so let's get him out of the way. Who do you want to fight?
Alvarez is a super middleweight. So if Alvarez is going to call himself the number one guy at 168, then he needs to prove it by beating the best possible opposition at the weight.
Bro, he's gonna fight everybody. Like he's fighting. He fought 3 times in 5 months, bro. He's gonna fight again in September. He's gonna probably fight Plant.
He has taken away 2 undefeated.
He's not doing it.
2 belts. He's taken away 2 champions. 2 champions. Champions that were undefeated out the way at 168 pounds. He's chasing another champion, and after he gets that other champion,
what needs to be understood here is that title belts do not make champions. The WBC, the WBA, IBF, IBO, IB, whomever, do not determine who is not a champion.
Look, if anybody wants to know,
we're getting ready to end the show, man.
We'll get an hour-long discussion on that. They could go back and watch that if they want. So I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but what I will say is this, okay? This idea, I'm asking you, who should Canelo fight then?
He should fight Benavidez.
Okay,
listen, he wants to parade around with the WBC belt, which the WBC stripped from Benavidez. Benavidez never lost that title in the ring.
Forget about the belts. Because you said the belts don't matter, so put them to the side.
They're meaningless. I agree.
Well, that's what you said. Okay. Hold on. Whoa. Context matters, right? Did Benavidez lose his belt on the scale?
Yes, he did. Of course.
Was it Canelo's fault that he lost the belt on the scale? Of course not.
No,
right?
It was not. No, it was not.
Okay. Should he not have to position himself back to fight somebody, the top dude in the division? Should he position himself again? Because you know who agrees with me? Hold up. You know who agrees with me? Benavidez agrees with me. I interviewed him. That's what he told me.
Yeah, he told us that.
I'm just saying, he wants a Canelo fight, but he understands he's not in the position at the moment. But he's optimistic that he's gonna get it. Okay, he knows that even though I fucked up, but I'm gonna come back and do it. You know what I mean? The fight's gonna happen. It doesn't have to happen this moment. Look, if you want me to agree with you that Benavidez is the best fight for Canelo 168, I'm gonna agree with you 100%.
I agree too.
Okay?
I agree.
But the fight's gonna happen, but it can't happen this very moment because Canelo wants to collect the belts. Once he collects all the belts, Benavidez says, "Yeah, I'll fight him for undisputed." Once he gets all the belts, he's all for it as well. You know what I mean?
Listen, collecting those belts, that's an excuse.
Here we go.
That's an excuse. That is the excuse that
Benavidez
Alvarez.
with you, brother. Not even
Well,
Benavidez.
and Benavidez is fine to think his own thoughts, and I can't speak for him.
Benavidez
And
is the
listen,
subject. Benavidez is precisely the guy you want him to see him in there with. And when you ask the very guy you want to see him in there with, he'll tell you, no, dude, I messed up. Now I have to position myself to even get a shot
I
at him.
happen to agree that Benavidez messed up when he lost his title on the ring. That was very unprofessional. When he lost his title on the scale, very unprofessional. All right,
and now you want to reward him with a quick fight? Like he should get Canelo now? Like you wanted him to fight him? Like this is what he's saying, Fight Doctor. Okay, Canelo was gone for all that time, almost a year or more. Okay,
Fought him in December.
Right? Yeah, and then he fought his first fight is Callum Smith, right? And we find a way to criticize that when other guys fought a Paul Smith when they came back from long layoff. You know what I mean? No, but Canelo needs to fight. He needs to fight Benavidez then and there. Like he's got to fight Benavidez immediately. Well, we know that couldn't be. I know you don't want that because, like you said, I mean, a 4-week camp isn't possible.
Listen.
Okay?
Can I just make my argument, please? Look.
Go ahead.
I have no problem. Now, you guys brought up Andre Ward, right? Now, Andre Ward, he had his layoffs. He had his layoff. Actually, he had more than one layoff. And he fought his tune-ups. But at the end of the layoff, and once the tune-ups had been tuned up, he went and fought the best opposition available. He fought Chad Dawson. At the time, Chad Dawson was the legitimate light heavyweight champion of the world. And then he fought...
At what weight did they fight?
I'm sorry?
At what weight did they fight?
They fought at 168.
Okay.
Fight Doctor, can I ask you a few questions? And these are legitimate questions.
But let me just finish making my point.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
And then Andre Ward, he fought Kovalev, who was a legitimate #1 light heavyweight in the world and was a serious threat. And in doing so, by fighting these challenges, Andre Ward proved that he was the best. I want to see Alvarez take the serious challenges so he can shut the mouths of his critics. Okay? Listen, I understand how, look, the Mexican people have a proud boxing tradition, and I'm a big fan of that tradition. Okay? A huge fan. And right now, I see a guy who's taking the spirit of that tradition and dragging it through the mud. I don't appreciate that.
Come on.
And I'm being 100% completely honest with you here. I'm a boxing fan. I'm not a fan of any particular fighter. I'm a boxing fan.
Name me one dude that's not top 5 that he's fought in the last 5 years.
Let me ask him a few questions. D, let me ask him a quick question. And this is honest questions, no BS behind it. This is for the sake of the chat, not even us. In your opinion, Fight Doctor, did Canelo fought the best of the best at 154 pounds?
Yeah, I mean, he fought Mayweather, he fought Trout, he fought Long, he fought Kirkland.
Okay.
There's no question that listen,
okay. So in your opinion, did he fought the best fighters at 160 pounds on the short campaign that he had there?
No question. He fought Jacobs there. He fought Gluck twice.
Okay, so in your opinion, from 160, did he fought one of the best 175 pounders in Kovalev?
He fought the weakest 175-pound titleist.
Was Kovalev top 5?
Now, listen,
was Kovalev top 5?
Hold on a second. Now, wait a minute. Look, the fact, listen, yes. If you're going to say that...
In your opinion, has he been fighting top-level 168 pounders?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
In your opinion, so we already agreed, and you agreed. You said he's taking path of least resistance, but you agree with me that he fought the best at 154, that he fought the best at 160, that he fought a top 5 opponent in Kovalev at 175. Now, my question is, in the new weight division where he's at, 168, has he been fighting tough level oppositions?
No.
Okay,
listen,
who is a tough? Aside from Benavidez,
Alvarez has not fought a serious challenge since the Jacobs fight.
Aside from Benavidez, this question is gonna answer what you just said. Aside from Benavidez, name me 3 top 168 pounders. aside from Benavidez.
And Alvarez. No, Alvarez aside too.
No, because Alvarez is the other side here.
Yeah,
Alvarez is in the red corner. I want in the blue corner, aside from Benavidez, give me 3 top names at 168. Only 3. I'll tell you what. I'll make it easier. Give me 2.
Listen, the simple fact of the matter is this.
2, man. I just need 2 names,
brother.
I just need 2 names. It's not even hard.
Dude, the 168 fight, doctor. Come on.
I just need 2 names. I'm not asking you for top 10.
So you have Plant is the top 168.
No, I'm asking you because I don't know. Hold on. I'm asking you, Fight Doctor, because remember, I don't know. I don't even want the top 5. I want just aside from Benavidez.
I think he was answering Raw.
Go ahead.
Question.
I'm sorry.
2 ears, 1 mouth. Okay, 2 ears, 1 mouth. So you have Plant, and then you have the guy he just beat, Smith. Now, those are top 2 of the top guys at 168.
Okay.
However, at the simple fact of the matter is this: if the top guys if you're fighting guys who might happen to be at the top of the division are not providing the serious challenge, then you are not fighting the best possible opposition.
Hold on, because it's a very fair question. It's a very fair point he's making. D-Style is a very fair point that he's making. And he's saying that if you're fighting guys in your weight division that are not even putting up a fight, then you're not fighting the top names. Then my question still remains, give me 2 names that, in your opinion, will put that kind of fight that you're expecting him to see aside from Benavidez.
Here's who he should fight, in my opinion. All right? He should fight Benavidez. He should fight
aside
Charlo.
from Benavidez.
No,
but we already said Charlo. But you
listen,
said Charlo's not. You said Charlo's not. Charlo's a middleweight. You said Charlo's a middleweight. So never mind Charlo. So I'm saying at 168 pounds.
At 168 pounds, the only guy I want to see him fight 168 pounds is Benavidez. That's the only fight in my mind.
But there's got to be and say he beats Benavidez, and then what happens?
Now, what does this do after that, Charlie? Like, what's left?
Because this is why we have top 5s.
So if he wants to challenge himself, then he should move to 175 and go get what's his name?
Bivol or
Who's the guy? Better be it.
So in your opinion, the 168 division, in your opinion, the 168 pound division is so weak that there's only one guy, and his name is Benavidez. Is that what you truly want to look at the chat face and the boxing fans and tell them that is such a weak division that there's only one guy? By the way, the guy that has 0 upper body movement, the guy that has 0 defense on the short range, the guy has never fought opposition as hard as the one that Canelo has fought. Is that truly what you want to sell to this chat today? Let's be honest, brother. Look. You know, hey, bro. You know one guy that I never liked. I truly, when I tell you this, I never liked this fighter. But I had to sit back and say, damn, this dude is a beast. It went against it went against everything I wanted to say.
Hey,
but I said, dude, this dude is. I never liked Margarito. But if you ask me about Margarito was a beast. Regardless whether I liked him or not. At some point, you're going to have to love yourself enough to be honest first with yourself and say, you know what, dude? I may not like this ginger kid, but this fool been fighting the best at 154. This fool been fighting the best at 160. He went to 175, skipping a weight to fight a top 5 opposition. He came back down after a long layoff and fought the number 1 guy. He took Billy Joe Saunders. Now he's going after Plant. I got to give this dude all the credit in the world.
Yo, when Kovalev, you're dipping your toes in the water because it's your first fight in the division opponent, you got to give that dude credit, bro. Like, there's no way around it. You got to give him credit. Like, you have to, or you don't have any credibility. That was his dipping in the toe fight, brother. Yeah. He was dipping his toes in the division. You want to go over all your worst opponents when he first dipped his toes in the division? Do we need to do that? Because we can compare that. Okay, but you don't want to give him no credit for dipping his toes.
All right, so now once again, let's talk about Andre Ward. Let's talk about Andre Ward. Now,
Hey,
Andre went up to 175.
we need some tortilla. We're making Fight Doctor
So
tacos here
Andre
today.
went up to 175, dipped his toe in the division, right? But then what did he do once he got there?
Yes.
But what did he do once he got there?
Okay, but you're talking about the finished product, something that already happened versus something that we're witnessing as we speak. Fight Doctor, you can't compare those two things. We're in the middle of one story and you're comparing it to a book that's already finished, bro. Oh, no, yeah, he fought that guy, and nobody knows who they are. But then what did he end up doing after that? Okay, guess what people were doing at 154 with Canelo? Okay,
So
wait,
what has Canelo
hold
done
on,
since
let me
the James
finish.
fight?
Hold on, let me finish. Oh, they were doing the same thing at 154. When is he going to fight Trout, huh? When is he going to fight somebody with a pulse? When is he going to do this? When is he going to do that? Is he going to fight Lara? Is he avoiding Lara or what? Well, now that the book is finished at 154, even you got to admit that he did his shit at 154. But that's not how people felt in the middle of the story. Okay, same thing at 160. When he first moved up, oh, well, why isn't he fighting Golovkin? Well, is he avoiding Golovkin? Is he scared of Golovkin? But guess what? Okay, the book kept going, and he fought him not once but twice, and then he fought Jacobs. In your own words, you said that was a hell of an opponent. You give him credit for that. Cool. We're in the middle of a story that just started.
Benefit of the doubt.
68.
Benefit of the doubt. Don't forget that part. Benefit of the doubt.
Like,
So,
you're like, what
again,
did he do? Look
listen,
what he did
at the
afterwards.
end- look, at the-
Bro.
look,
That's the
listen.
finished product.
At the end of the day, I can only examine what's in front of me. And what's in front of me is Alvarez has been taking the path of least resistance since the Jacobs fight. Now, that's what's in front of me.
Who has had more resistance in their path, Fight
guys,
Doctor?
guys, I'll say this. I think we've had a pretty good discussion here with Fight Doctor. I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on what Canelo's doing right now. But I do want to thank you, Fight Doctor. I know it's been a hell of a ride since you've been on, but I do appreciate you coming on, man, and speaking with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I always allow people to come on that disagree with us, to have a difference of opinion. It's all good, man. It's just at the end of the day, it's just boxing, and we have the discussion. We either agree or we disagree, and then we keep it moving, man. But I appreciate you, Fight Doctor.
Hey,
Thank
Fight
you for coming
Doctor.
on, man.
Hey, Fight Doctor. Umzu
Yes,
Umgolo
sir.
Melakwa. Umzu Umgolo Melakwa. Since I'm not African.
Okay.
Have a good day, man. Hey, no
So,
hard feelings,
I tell you
though.
what, I
No
tell you
hard
what, I tell you
feelings,
what.
though. No hard feelings,
I
though.
tell you what. No, since you know so much about Africa, what is Ma'at? When you
say
learn the
Ma'at?
principle of Ma'at and what it stands for, then you can come in with your African language or whatever you were speaking. Okay, but learn something about. Learn something about Ma'at.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
All right,
That's
right,
ancient.
right, guys.
I think that's an ancient book, if I'm not mistaken, Fight Doctor.
Bye.
No,
But-
ask your African speaking dude. What it is. He should know.
Bye.
If you know
Your
so much about
tacos-
Africa. You know
your-
so
your-
much about Africa. Tell me what is Ma'at.
your
Tell me about
tacos-
the concept of Ma'at. Tell me about
Hey,
it. What is it?
hey, we sold
What
tacos
is
of
the
you tonight,
principle
and
of
we
Ma'at?
didn't sell out,
Tell me,
brother.
what
They
is
didn't
it?
taste that good.
Tell me,
We'll
what
have
is
the-
it? What is the principle of Ma'at?
Now go to bed,
Any
man, and
African
hype.
can tell you what the principle of Ma'at is. Any African can tell you what the principle of Ma'at is. Now, please tell me, what is the principle of Ma'at?
Bye,
Tell me.
Shriner. Bye,
No,
Shriner.
seriously, so like he gave us our time. He was here, and he gave us his
Yeah,
thoughts.
appreciate you, Fight Doctor. We'll talk
Bye,
about
Shriner.
that again another time, man. But I appreciate you being here, and thanks for your time, man. I do appreciate
And
it.
I want to say goodbye to the pseudo-African.
Bye, Shriner.
That was good stuff, man, guys. That's the Fight
Psychological
Doctor.
warfare.
That's the Fight Doctor on Rick James status, as always, man. And I appreciate him. He stands on his square, man. You got to respect that. You have to respect that at the end of the day.
If anybody's going live, let us know. And
yeah, if anybody else is going to go live after this, let us know. We could send this entire audience. We got 43 people here. We can go there, but I definitely have to wrap it up here myself. But this right here, I want to thank everybody in chat that was here. Maestro, who came on earlier, Fight Doctor, of course. And this is the HCP crew right here, man. HCP Cuba with Raw Boxing. We got HCP Mexico here with G-Funk and D-Style. This is the crew, man. Any last words you want to say, Raw Boxing, before I end the show here, man?
Okay. Always remember, do not let past history define your future. And that goes to everybody. White, black, Chinese. Whatever your ancestors went through, they went through it. It's good to know about it. But don't allow that to stop you from becoming a better you. And the minute you get anybody reminding you on a daily basis. But remember what they did to your ancestors. You tell them, yeah, I learned from it, and I'm pushing forward to be even better and preventing that from happening again. Because if you, like Deontay Wilder, allow yourself to continue to spread this pacification, then you got no complaints as to the denigration of your people. And that's all I have to say.
Good stuff there, Raw. I'm not sure. Guys are posting links in the chat. You guys got to let me know what these links are for. This way I can inform everybody. I see
Major Key going live.
Major Key. Oh, they're going live? Okay, well, guys, head over there to LT Desmadre. I believe he says he's going to go live. So we could head over there and continue the conversation if you want, or start a new conversation. But this conversation here has got to end for me. D-Style, my co-host, what's on your mind, man? Last words.
All I gotta say is who's down with HCP, everybody. Peace out, everyone. Roundtable tomorrow.
Man. Don't forget, roundtable tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe to D-Style Boxing if you're not. Don't forget to subscribe to Raw Boxing TV if you're not. Maestro Boxing, who was here earlier. And we enjoyed the conversation, guys. We are out. We'll see you on the next one.